Good evening, world. As I take a deep breath, I know Duro love that one right there. As I take a deep breath, that's right. And welcome to another episode of Band Dog Talk with a Dog God. And big salute to all my brothers who came in on that early bird special, trying to get trying to get on the podium. And guess who we got on the podium right now? That number one stunner, Young Ready Red. You know what I mean? Big salute to you, Young Ready. Close second is Duro Ricio, my family Duro, man. Big salute to you, fam. And Corey on that third place, man. 1, 2, 3. Y'all already know how I feel about that three. That's that root number 3. Feel me? Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. 1, 2, 3. So big salute to all of you who made it on the pole position. Salute to Functional Focus Kennels close fourth. Big salute to y'all, man. And before we get into my work week, right? I always tell y'all, man, get prepared. I know you guys are probably already prepared. Y'all know the routine, but we like to cut the edge from the week, from the work week, from the work day. Those of you who like your herbal sensations, go ahead and get you a backwood, get you a paper plane, get your bong out, whatever you dab your pen, whatever you do with your herbal sensations. Okay, go ahead and get that lit up, get that prepared. Those of you who like your brewskis, big salute to you, Blue Line Terriers, man. Big Bill, big salute to your family. How my boy Jaws doing over there, man? How he doing? How's he adjusting? He doing good? Or excuse me, your boy Jaws. You know what I'm saying? How's he doing over there, Bill? But like I said, get your brewski, crack that brewski open. You know what I mean? Whatever it might be. Your cocktails, like how I like to operate. The coach got that vodka lemonade. You know what I mean? I keep it simple, man. And shots, whatever y'all like, Jose Cuervo, whatever y'all like, man, get it ready, man. Get it ready. And I want to say cheers to you guys. You know what I mean? Appreciate all your support, man. Real talk. I appreciate all your, you guys coming out, being consistent, making time for the classroom. Because that's what this is. This is classroom shit. You feel me? So big salute, big cheers. Oh yeah, gotta curve that edge, man. So this week, yeah, hey, Bill, I mean, he's grown up. Hey, big salute to you, Show Enough. Welcome, family. Hey, Show Enough, anytime you want to get on that panel, you know what I'm saying? Shit. You welcome, man. You're welcome to get on the panel anytime, Show Enough. But big salute to you, family. But yeah, Bill, like real talk, like, yeah, like his whole life has been outside. Like, once you've been out, like, think about how when we were kids and we used to play outside, right? And we didn't want to go inside, like, right? We had to go inside at a certain time, or old school, when the lights turned on, type shit. Your parents say, come inside, time for dinner, take a shower, bath, whatever you got to do, get ready for school. Those dogs that I have, of course, they live, I got 6.5 acres on a hill. You know what I mean? They got plenty of room to get busy. They got plenty of room, they got the elements. They living like dogs. So for him, yeah, I'm sure he's like, bro, I'd rather be outside. You know what I mean? I'd rather, because that's what he's used to. He's used to being out there in the elements and being a dog. But I know you taking care of him real nice, man. He just don't know how to accept it. That's all. He don't know how to accept that indoor living. He try to learn, like, oh shit, is this really what I ain't used to that shit, because I ain't never been inside the house. So yeah, big salute to you. And okay. By the way, Functional Focus Kennels is Knock 'em Down. If y'all don't know that, you know what I mean? So big salute to Knock 'em Down, aka Function Focus Kennels. He said felonies likes being inside or wherever I am. When I leave her outside alone, she goes crazy. Okay, well, see, them females is very I can't even say that, man. I can't even say they're more clingy, because all my dogs is Klingon type. You know what I'm saying? At least all my, they always compete for my energy. So Male or female, I mean, that's up to debate who's more clingy. But I could see her being like that, to be honest with you, functional focus kennels. I can see her being like that. You know what I'm saying? Because, anytime I would come into the kennel space, she making sure that, she lets me know her energy. All my dogs do though, man. So I don't, man. And plus, you got your lady there, man. So I'm sure she gives it all that extra love and that TLC. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, she'd rather be over there getting that affection from y'all. So it makes sense. You know what I mean? It's straight. What'd you say, Bill? He says, and with the other dogs barking, he likes that. But he straight ignores them. Yeah. Imagine, his upbringing being around Shaka. That's his first energy space was him and his brother. And Shaka is or was the number one asshole. AR-15s, he got it now. I mean, he the number one asshole. But Shaka was the number one asshole, the number one agitator, the number one shit starter on the yard. And of course, they're brothers. So, imagine having that brother that is always getting on your nerves. I mean, that's what that boy Jaws had to deal with. You feel what I'm saying? Always had to deal with that growing up. And his personality and his temperament is not confrontational. He's never been a confrontational dog. So, he's confident in his abilities. I'm sure of it. However, he's smart enough to know, like, I ain't even interested in it. So I ain't gonna play into the energy. And so he knows how to navigate. So what you're saying, how he just ignores them, yeah, he's used to that shit. He used to damn his brother, used to be number one asshole before, he getting older now. So now he like his mind is shifted now. It's like he's like, man, this shit ain't getting me nowhere. You feel me? Like this shit ain't getting me nowhere. So he get it. But yeah. Yeah, he's always been a well-mannered dog, man. Real loving dog. Real loving, loves affection. He's always been that way, man. Very loving. So as of this week, I like to give you guys, kind of like a summary of my week with the dogs. It's always something with the dogs. So I've been experimenting with toning down the energy of my dogs because my dogs are so competitive and they mimic each other, like they talk. They have their own language, and I'm learning the language as I've been around dogs for so many months and different types of dogs and multiple dogs at once. Like I'm learning the dog language. I'm learning. Of course, I'm always learning about dog awareness. We talked about that in previous episodes about dog awareness, but I'm learning my dog's awareness when it comes to me, right? And I've been trying to get the frequency level of their competitiveness to calm down, right? Especially the younger ones. They're still learning that I don't play that energy. I don't like it. They're still learning that concept that I don't like it when y'all get all excited because it's me, even though it's really no harm in it. But like the competitive barking, that shit is like, I got to get that under control. Even though I'm very respectful of my neighbors as far as the time that I am dealing with my dogs and working with my dogs, right? I'd make sure it's, not too early, not too late. You know what I mean? So anyway, so I've been working on like trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Like figure out how I can curb the energy of like they're competitive, you know what I mean? Like they compete with each other, whether it be jumping around or barking or it's just chaotic. You feel what I'm saying? When I come out. Um, However, it's sectional. It's a couple of dogs that do it, and then when certain dogs see other dogs do it, then they mimic it type shit. So anyway, long story short, this week I've been experimenting. Like, okay, how can I curb this energy? Now, the main reason why the excitement is because it's chow time. Dogs are very food driven, right? We know that, especially when you have your dogs on a food regimen like I do, right? I mentioned before that I used to allow my dogs to graze, right? I used to fill their bowl up. I had a big ass dog bowl. I fill it up and I just put it out there to them. And I would notice that it would take them about 2 days, Some dogs, if they were pigs, they'll eat it all, but a lot of dog shit. But I used to do that, early bird. You know what I mean? However, I noticed I had big dogs. Right? I had, prime example was Goat and Prophet. They was huge when I used to do that. My big double XLs. Now, that didn't work well when it came to my athletic dogs. Now, I noticed also, okay, when I used to let all my dogs graze like this, by the way, I noticed also that Big Steve, what's good with you, family? Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Salute to you, Steve. What I noticed from some of the dogs, like for example, Shaka, because he always was, he's always been on that rah, 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 on that paste pecani sauce. You know what I'm saying? Like he would keep his how would I say, physique, because as he would eat it, right? As he would eat the dog food, he would burn it off. But because I left so much of it, he kept a, pretty maintained physique. Over time, I was like, man, I'm wasting dog food. Like when you understand, like when you study dog shit, when you become a shitologist, that's what I've become, right? I've become a dog shitologist. Understand when my dogs are sick, understand when, you done picked up and seen so much shit, smelt so much shit. You understand what's going on with your dog. So I become a shitologist, right? Over time, you like, damn, I'm feeding my dogs too much. Even though some dogs will eat it all. Even though some dogs will still maintain a physique like Shaka. Even though some dogs will get, big, heavy, heavy D. You know what I mean? For those who like dogs with heavy weight. And you see like, man, I'm wasting, first of all, I'm wasting dog food because I'm picking up more shit. But then I'm not doing my dogs any justice by feeding them, free feeding them where that's like, oh, eat until you're full type shit. You know what I mean? Like eat until you're full. So now I got my dogs on a regimen, per cup. Certain dogs get certain amount of cups, right? And of course, that saves me money, even though it's still a lot of money. Still $3,000 a month, y'all. $3,000 a month. But anyway, I got my dogs on that regimen. So when I started doing that with my dogs, the actual scoop per, when you read the bag and then you adjust accordingly based off the dogs that's super extra active, then that's when I started to get them damn amazing physiques that you guys see on my dogs. Because I'm feeding them like athletes. Okay. I'm feeding them like athletes. So anyway, the dogs know this. So, the younger ones don't know no better, but the older ones, they're like, damn it, man, I'm ready to eat. Because, before daddy used to let us free feed. Now he got us on a scoop regimen. Certain scoops, keep our body a certain type of, build. So anyway, that's why the energy turned up really. Because they know it's chow time. So I got some young girls that's on my first tier with AR-50. I call it what I call that? The first tier, that's AK-47's tier. No, Stud Island. That's what I used to call it, Stud Island. But I got bitches over there now too. I had to, you got to play musical dogs. When you got so many dogs, certain personalities, you got to move dogs around. Before that was all studs. Now there's a variety pack of dogs that get along. It's not about Stud Island no more. But anyway, I got these youngsters, and one in particular, okay, it's a female, one of my newer dogs off of Cowboy and Tiny. Now, Tiny is very smart. She's probably one of my smartest dogs on my yard. And her daughter is very smart too. Very intelligent. Very sexy, sexy bitch too. That bitch is, when she mature, right now she's one. When she matures, she's going to be a phenomenal bitch because she's sexy already. You know what I'm saying? It's just, she's a exceptional bitch. Beautiful dog, alpha, like super intelligent, but I understand. I know where she get her personality or energy from. know what I'm saying? I know where she get her alpha energy, where she, she run her space. She been that way since she was born. She run it. She ran her litter. She run her pack that she's in. But she's smart. That bitch is smart. When I know where she get that from her mother. Tiny. Tiny's very smart, very intelligent bitch. Always has. So this bitch knows the time that I come out. So then she alarms everybody else with her certain type of sounds that she makes at the time. And she knows the time, and she always makes the noise at that. So if she does that, the other dogs, they hear it. They know, okay, if she's making that alarm, then daddy must be getting out. Like, he must be coming out if she's making that alarm. But she's just an alarm clock. I'm not even coming out yet. So all this energy, I'm trying to figure out, okay, I need to, y'all got to work with me. And I humbly tell y'all this. I'm grateful for my dogs because my dogs don't cause no problems for me. They don't. I have to consider certain individuals. I told y'all this before, and I got certain people that are miserable in their life who have been causing me on my beautiful estate a mental headache about my dogs barking when I'm taking care of them at 2, 3 p.m. Regular daytime hours where I can ride my motorcycle, my dirt bike, my quad. I can shoot my guns. I'm in the country, but I got people who want to dictate what I do. That's far away, that barely can hear my dogs, but they want to dictate it because I'm a brother out here. I keep it real with y'all. I'm a brother up here. My property is like an estate. They got decent properties and stuff, but they don't got a property on the hill with the view. They got decent properties and shit, horses and shit, but they ain't got a fucking property dug into the hill, 2 stories, 2 damn stories with a fucking infinity pool, fucking full garden. So excuse my aggression, because this, people, but this is the world we live in, y'all. I'm just keeping it real. Tiered out. I got my stuff. Y'all seen a little bit of something like tiered out. Like, my shit looks like a resort. More land than them. I got more land than them. They know I'm the only black man up here in my county. Okay, I'm gonna say I won't go that far. I say in my little city, if you want to call it city. It's not even a city, town. But I've been doing things bigger than them since I moved here in 2016. Okay, I got the best lot. Of course, they wouldn't spend the money that I spent to make it what it is. You see what I'm saying? They wouldn't spend the money, when they probably could have bought this lot before, we bought it from our, the people that purchased the lot when it was empty. They bought it. They had a dream for it, but they only did so much because it costs. To make a hill usable, it costs a lot of money. Okay? This is real talk. So, long story short, I did all that. My shit is like a resort. Okay, my dogs, I got them all. I got, built my wife an orchard and a, garden and everything. I got the training facility. I got a creek. My shit's a resort. My family loved to come over my shit. Everybody wanted to come over my place because it's that place. It's that level. Okay. Because of this, right? You got individuals who be hating that shouldn't be hating. They should be minding their business. Like my neighbors told me when I first moved here. When I first moved here, you guys, I'm going on a little rant, but I'm tying it in what the week. So you understand the week, how important the week is, how my dogs have been acting this week. But anyway, when I first moved out here to the country, a city boy, I bought this property. I asked my white neighbors, they're older. And, I'm always good. Every place I move, I'm good with my neighbors. Either their husband, maybe their wife is an asshole, but I'm cool with their husband. So I got the mediator, the husband, or both of them cool, or all, me and my wife, we always, we good. I'm a good dude. I got good energy. I want to be, we're neighbors. You know what I'm saying? You need something from me, I'm here to help. Vice versa. Anyway, I went to my neighbor. He's older white guy. I asked him like, hey, you know what I mean? We're the Harrises. We moved here, like, how are they going to feel about me and my wife living here? I asked him straight up and down, like, how are these individuals going to feel about me and my wife living here? He said, you know what? Everybody here minds their business. That's what we like. That's why we're more than everybody mind their business. So you do what you do. Everybody mind their business. That's what we get. That's what we got land. Everybody do what they do. He told me that. I'm like, cool. So of course, as I'm like, okay, cool. I got a lot of land. I'm not on top of nobody. You know what I'm saying? This is my shit. I'm like, I'm in my oasis, y'all. This is my oasis. I pay for this shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm a city boy. I moved to the country for this so I can mind my own business. And so I started building, invite my family and friends. They started loving that shit. I could shoot guns and all my guns. I'm riding my bike. I love motorcycle. I'm living in my country oasis. And then I got some miserable Karen, if you want to call her that. That's like over 1,000 yards away from me or feet away from me that want to be complaining about my dogs barking while I'm out there dealing with my dogs. And she's so like miserable that she keep doing it. Like she's been doing this shit since 2021 when COVID hit, but she wasn't doing it back in 2016 when I've still been doing dogs when I moved here. As soon as I moved here, I was doing dogs. I built my kennel as soon as I touched down in 2016. So anyway, now I have to walk on eggshells on my property because of a woman over there and what she's been doing to her apps and stuff and causing me a headache. And, and with me, I'm very politically correct. Even though I'm Whitney, what I mean by Whitney, I'll be in my feelings, y'all. I'll be in my feelings. I can't cap. But I understand that she would want me to react in my feelings because then that would prove to her who I am as a black man. But I never act that way. I'm always nice to her. Always, even though that woman just get on my nerves. Because like, woman, mind your business. You jealous? You jealous, huh? Because my property is better than yours? You jealous because you heard about all the shit we done did to our property? Because all y'all white people in the area talk? You jealous? I'm sure you are. Because we the only minorities over here in this city that's killing y'all. So you want to make me feel like I can't do what I want to do on my property? So I got to deal with her very, very politically correct because I don't want to be her stereotype. I don't want her to be like, see, I knew them niggas was acting like that. I knew them niggas was like that. I don't want her. I want to kill her with the opposite energy. You know what I mean? Here's my number. Give me a call. You could text me. She texts me with her bullshit. I always respond, politically correct every time. But she been getting on my nerves. Trust me, y'all. So now I got to put that energy on my dogs when they don't make no noise unless it's time for chow. My dogs are good dogs, man. They're great dogs. They understand the regiment. They understand the routine, y'all. So anyway, this week, okay, I went off for the tangent, but I want to give y'all the backstory. Some of y'all already know, but I'll give you the backstory. So this week, I've been working with them. Like trying to find ways to curb that excitement for me and Chow. Okay. So this week, I did something that I don't normally do. And what I used to do is I come out, I clean up the shit and piss first. And then I feed. And then I move on to, tier by tier, do it like that. And normally it's tier by tier, the noise. That's how it works. When I'm done with a tier, nobody makes no noise. Go to the tier I come on. When I come down, then it's excitement. Done with them, nobody make no noise. And I go to the next tier. So, it's a consistent off and on type of intermittent barking because, oh, we ready to eat. We ready to eat. Let me feed me, feed me, feed me. That's what you're getting from the dogs, right? So I was like, you know what? I need to, I'm trying to appease this woman who lives so far away from me, who me and my wife, and my neighbor, actually my wife and my neighbor who's on my side, you know what I mean, who's closer to me than her. She's my they're my next door neighbor, like not next door, but like next property neighbor. They never trip on it. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't bother me. Of course it doesn't. It shouldn't bother her. So I had them even go over there where her property is and then hear the dogs. They're like, bro, we can barely even hear that shit. So anyway, you just got people like that, they paint narratives because they jealous or whatever it might be. They miserable in their life, whatever it might be. Anyway, I was like, you know what? Let me feed them first, then clean up. So I've been experimenting with that all week. Okay. Long story short, I've been experimenting with that all week. And I've gotten, I got a little bit of result. Now, with dogs is always routine. So it's reps. So I'm hoping that the concept of your reward, which I know why you're excited for two things, me and the food. Me and the food. That's it. That's the only time my dogs turn up. You know what I mean? Period. Unless there's something goes on, a tree fall down, scare them. Some deers come around harassing them because the deers know that they can't get over this. So the deers be harassing your dogs. If I'm gonna let you know that deers harass dogs. They harass my dog. They'll stand right in front of their shit, eating their grass and their shit because they know the dogs can't get out. They'll just do that. Had the dogs going crazy because my dogs, they got prey dry. They want to get them damn deer. Deer stand there like, you ain't gonna get out that damn kennel. So that or any outside predator, most of the time they stay away. Any type of free roaming type of real predator, because they know the dogs, they can smell the dogs, they stay away. So anyway, I tried a new thing, y'all. This week, I've seen some results. I'm hoping that I'll continue it, and then I can at least drop the commotion about 50%. So if I can do that, I even cut my hours. Okay. I used to have a 12 to 6 window that I could do whatever I want to do with the dogs or whatever else. Now I'll cut my hours 12 to 4. Okay. So I'm trying to be considerate of this particular woman, even though I shouldn't have to. Okay. Because I'm on my land. Take your ass in your house. We went over there, tested it. That shit ain't allowed. Like you're being petty, but I can't give in to her stereotypes because that's just what they do. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like probably there goes the neighborhood, right? When you hear about, oh, there's a minority couple moving on the hill. Wow, oh my God, we ain't never had one of those. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And then of course, like I said, my friends, family, like, they come over here. We have a good time. We shoot guns, man, we had that bad boy sound like Iraq over here. So of course they ain't liking that. We got bigger caliber guns and shit. They don't like the Benzes and all the Beamers and all the high-end cars that come over. They don't like that shit. You know what I'm saying? They don't like that shit. They don't like the fact that I'm riding in a Denali Dooley truck, Harley Davidson, all the shit. Every year I'm upgrading my shit. They don't like that shit. Cause it's me, because it's a nigga. Because I'm black doing it. So now it's like, okay, cool. It's all good. You don't have to like that shit. It's fine. At the end of the day, all my neighbors that's close to me, they all love me. Because we let them swim in our pool. We give them food. We cool. Because I'm cool. And I show that lady, even though she been a pain in my ass, that I'm cool. Like, even though you do what you do, I'm not going to let you affect me. I'm still a cool guy. Like, all my neighbors love me. You are the problem. So now I'm curbing it for her to appease her. So long story short, solid week with the dogs. God is good. Hopefully I can continue that with these dogs and I could drop the frequency down and hopefully that lady will just, man, go in your house, mind your business, leave me alone. You know what I'm saying? Stop it. You know what I mean? This is my hill. Period. Respect me. You know what I'm saying? Like my other neighbors do. Respect me. This is my hill. You don't run this over here. I do. Respect me. But you know, I'm trying to be politically correct. So shout out to the dogs this week. That's what I want to say. Shout out to the dogs this week. I tried something different. It worked itself out a little bit. Dropped the frequency down 50%. And hopefully I can continue to show them, the dogs, that, hey, I know what you want. I'm going to give you what you want, but then give me what I want. So, man, applaud the dogs, man. Other than that, man, nothing crazy. Thank God it's wintertime. I hate winter when it comes to fall, winter when it get cold. I hate it when it comes to the dogs, man. You know what I'm saying? I already told y'all I don't like wintertime with the dogs. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking forward to that transition. Once we get into spring, summer, I'm back thumbs up with the dogs. But right now it's like dogs in hibernation. You know what I'm saying? That's how I see wintertime with dogs. But other than that, solid week, nothing crazy. Trying to get my giraffe boys to calm down. My what I would call Formula One band dogs, those Roman sons, trying to get them to calm themselves down and not be doing things to, injure themselves even though they don't feel it. You know what I'm saying? But make sure my man right, my boy Spartan, you know what I'm saying? So he healing up really good as far as what he did, self-inflicted wound to his ass, but he's healing up good. Everything's good. So anyway, that was my week, man. God is good. But I'm going to drop that link. So if you're qualified, please come up and we'll talk about our subject matter. Only if you're qualified. If you're not qualified, what I mean by qualified, okay? If you haven't been in the chat, multiple lives, right? Multiple Thursday nights or Wednesday night, which we're doing a special because Thursday's Thanksgiving. Shout out to Duro. And we see you participating and we know you're legit. You're really here for the dogs. Then we allow you to come up on the panel and participate. Either way, you can always participate in the chat. But if you come up and I've never seen you before, do not feel like I'm like, like I'm doing you dirty. No, we just been there, done that. We're not doing that. You have to qualify, man. You got to be a participant in the chat. You have to show us that you are really about the dogs. That's what this is about. It's not about drama. It's not about none of the above. This is only about dogs over here. This is the classroom, man. So for those of you who are qualified, come on up and come into the panel. I just dropped the link right now. Click it if you qualify. I have to send a shout out to NWA Connie Corso. And I'm sure I know where the energy came from as far as, certain individuals, tapping in with them. But I want to shout out to my man, Joe from NWA Candy Corsos. He hit me up. What's up, Duro?
What up, Coach?
Oh, man. God is good all the time. But, I ain't doing too bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm on the same tip, man. Everything is straight.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm ready.
I'm on the same tip. What's up, my guys?
What
up, ready?
We're hearing a little feedback. Somebody got their YouTube on while they listening.
My drawing on. Yeah. Here we go.
Okay, there we go.
All right. How y'all doing, man? I'm good. Happy birthday, brother.
It's your birthday, young man?
Yesterday.
Oh, man. How old are you now? What, 43?
44.
44. Oh, shit, man. You catching up to me, young Red.
What's good? Crazy, man. Corey, what up,
Still
gang?
feel young, man. The same.
That's good, you know what I mean? That you still feel the same. I'm feeling old at 46, nigga. So I'm glad that you still feel forever young, young ready. That's why you young ready right there. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Nah, but happy birthday, man. Blessings to you
Thank
on
you, man.
another year. And many more to come too.
Yeah, thank you.
Big salute, Corey.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
What's
man.
good, Coach?
Yeah, man. Shoot, this, thankful to Duro for reminding me that Thanksgiving was on Thursday.
Yeah.
That's what I'm here for, Coach. You know what I mean? You gotta have a good good assistant coach.
Hey,
You know what I
assistant
mean?
coach, for sure.
That's fact.
All y'all are my assistant coaches. You feel
For
me?
sure.
Hey.
So I appreciate that. You know what I mean? But yeah, so Joe from NWA Connie Corso. For those of you guys who don't know who Joe is, he got a nice, pretty dope channel out there. He does a lot of interviews with a lot of dog men. He reached out to me, and I remember some of you. I think it might have been Big Jada Don, right?
Yeah, it was
think,
a big job.
Yeah. I think Big Jada Don was in his ear, like, yo, nigga, you better go holler at the coach.
Word.
You know what I mean? So if that was you, Big Jaw, man, I see you out there, man. I appreciate you, Big Jaw, straight up and down. So he reached out to me today, actually, and we got an interview set up for, I think it's the 11th, the next Wednesday. We got an interview set up. So he said he said you'll be a different interview than I've ever done before. You know what I mean? So he definitely recognized that I'm a pioneer.
Let's make sure we all go over there and support y'all. Word, that's big, man.
Yeah, I'll give you guys the you know what I'm saying, the itinerary, the times and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying, of when we set it up. So I'll post it in the group chat or whatever. But I'll also let you guys know if I get any time, before that, on the next live that we do.
Word.
Cool. So yeah, man. So shout out to you guys, man, for doing what y'all do, man, just supporting your boy and just representing us pioneers out here with these dogs and stuff like that.
Yeah, we love you to death, Coach. You know what I mean? We gotta be there for our boy.
No, I appreciate y'all. Y'all know that. Y'all know I love y'all, man. I appreciate y'all, man. And this is our community because this is what we started here. Yep. And I want it to be something that elevates, not only elevates us as dog men and dog women, but really elevate the dogs. You know what I'm saying? Because like we always say, this is about the dogs. Ain't about nothing personal.
All about the dogs. Yeah.
Ain't about no ego, this, that, and the third status. This is only about the dogs. So, whatever we're doing now, we can spread it, get more people enthused and motivated about making these dogs better, making high performance dogs great again. Shit, then bingo, we scored. Hey, sure enough, said Carolina Blue also told Joe about okay. Hey, shout out to Carolina Blue. Carolina Blue, sure enough. Carolina Blue also told me about that boy Chico Lopez over there hating on AK-47 Chopper.
Chico Lopez is a hater. Fuck him.
Man, he was hating so bad, but he gave me so much advertising and stuff. Like, he is hating so bad on the Chopper.
I don't like
good for the promo though.
Oh, I told him that too. When he did it, I told him that. Like
people don't like his dogs either.
Say it again, Corey.
People don't like his dogs either.
I mean, to eat. Watch this. You know how I say it? To each their own. Your dog is your dog. You represent your program.
Yeah.
I'm not down another dog man's program for dogs.
Exactly.
Chico Lopez, his whole publicity stunt is knocking everybody else's shit.
Knocking everybody else's shit down.
Of everybody else. That's his play.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it made him who he is today, whatever he got going on, minus the other stuff he used to do with the dogs back in the day. But as far as his social media presence, that's his play. So I get it. But Carolina Blue had, so he had to mention AK is like, bro, like AK is killing anything you got over there. That's why you had to bring him up.
Macho Buck. Yeah, that's his joint. Macho Buck, right?
Yeah, Macho Buck. And I said, I ain't mad at none of that. Chico, do you. Don't bring my freak of nature up in there trying to downplay my freak of nature when you ain't never seen one of those in your life. You never had one of those in between your legs in your life. You ain't never seen no AK in person and never had a dog with that type of strength and intensity and drive in your life, Chico. But you gonna talk down about my dog because your people on my post, cause my post be doing more than any post you put out.
Definitely do. You got a bigger following than a lot of dog men right now.
I mean, the facts is this, because when we always say it's about the dogs. Mm-hmm. So you talking about your dog, Chico, and the golden vein. So you talking about what you used to do in the past and all that stuff. So we're not going to discredit anything that Chico's ever done. That's not what we do.
Right.
However, you talking about, again, a dog that is, I mean, first of all, if we was in that same era, we wouldn't even be in the same weight class. So you would never see this dog, even if your dog was the primo dog of that day. If Primo was alive in that time, you wouldn't even Primo, but AK, excuse me, AK was alive in that time, and it was in that life, we wouldn't even match up. So what you doing talking about dog you ain't matched up on? But that's what people do when you got momentum. So they try to piggyback. It's like trolling and shit. Yep. They try to piggyback off of your momentum because you got it. So shout out to Carolina Blue. Shout out to Carolina Blue, man. But man, let's go ahead and put the topic at hand on the banner here. You know what I mean? I think it's a great topic. And we need to talk about this. And of course, the coach got the whole, play, the answer, all the schemes when it comes to this. But I want y'all to cook up on this topic first before I come in and start, you know what I mean, doing what the coach do with the X's and O's when it comes to this type of stuff, right? So should dog bloodlines of the past still be considered a bloodline of today? And what I mean by that is when you speak of, let's say, since we're all pit bull lovers, we're going to say a Mayday dog, okay? So when they say they got Mayday blood, their dogs are Mayday dogs or Eli, whatever these dogs of the past. Is that dog that they're talking about of the past, right?
Right.
That dog is that the dogs of today, 2024, 2025? Is that the same dog or no? Like that's what I want to talk about. Like, elaborate on that. I mean, y'all understand the question, right?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and elaborate. Go ahead and cook so I can piggyback when y'all done cooking.
Go ahead, ready. All right. The dogs of the past, though, that bloodline ran out decades ago when the pioneers of the old times of the 80s and 90s, all those dogs been died out. That it's about the new blood now. People making their own blood now. You could carry on now. Go ahead, Corey.
All right. So I want to say yes, but then no, because people got to still do crosses. People still got to do crosses.
That's
and I think a lot of the old bloodlines, they definitely doing the line breeding to keep a certain look or keep the blood tighter. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I want to say yes, but then no, because people you gonna have to cross. You gonna have to cross out eventually.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say no, because what I think is it's just like we all four of us know how to read a pedigree, right? Let's just take it technical for a minute. We all know how to read a pedigree, so you can have a blood in your dog, Doesn't matter what it is, you know, if it's DDK9 Hawk, if it's Bully Blue Giants, if it's Pro Bulls, if it's you know, Lions Lair, whatever, right? Excuse me. If it's Lions Lair, whatever. The thing about it is, right, is how far back is that blood in your pedigree? If that blood
Right. Right.
is
Right.
way, 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 way back there, yes, it's still in the dog, but no,
The dog.
you really don't have that no more because how many generations is that bloodline back?
Bingo.
That's the
Go ahead,
correct.
go ahead, y'all. I just had, you know, that's like saying amen. But go ahead.
No, I actually was done, coach.
Because what? Really, all the old blood now is inbred dogs.
Right,
Inbred dogs.
right.
Let me
So
elaborate.
when you start to get on that inbred, you know, thing, it is that still really Eli, Bolio, Boyle, Sorrows? Is it really still that blood
It might be
at
like
that point?
0.0000001%.
You see
Yeah,
what I'm saying? So even when you do that, can you really consider that same bloodline today?
Nope.
I say no. But go
Nah.
ahead, coach.
yeah. I'm gonna elaborate on what y'all. Everybody's correct. All of y'all are correct. Okay. Now, when I say that amen or bingo to Duro, okay. When you look at the pedigree, right? If you going back past 3 generations, top and bottom, too far back. Too far back. Now, when you still claiming a dog line, let's say, we're talking pit bulls, let's just say Mayday. Popular dog, we know who Mayday is. You trying to claim a Mayday dog 20 years later and call it a Mayday dog, but Mayday is not in the first 3. I'm talking about Mayday himself.
Right.
Because remember, that's what you're predicating your bloodline off of is the dog, right? When they say these names, it's not like Rottweiler the breed, right?
Right.
As long as they fit the breed type, whatever variance is it, you know, it is what it is. It's a Rottweiler, right? Okay. But we're talking about bloodlines here is totally different. And when you're talking about bloodlines, most people predicate bloodlines off of the dog, right? The dog. We know this. So with that being said, when you talk about bloodlines of the past of dogs who were famed, that were worthy of a bloodline, and they were alive at that time, where they could be put in the first 3 generations, right? If those dogs, if that particular dog that was the spear of that bloodline is not in those first 3 generations, and then their grandson, their great grandson, great granddaughter, et cetera, is a continuance of that, but that start of that line is not in the greats and first 3, that's no longer that bloodline.
Bloodline. Yeah.
That's no longer. Because like you said, Corey, there's outcrosses in there. Even if you inbred, that shit gonna break apart if you do that shit. You get inbred, okay, take brother and sister because you want to keep that line, breed them together. Okay, cool. Brother and sister of those puppies, breed, man, that shit gonna break apart so fast.
Yep.
So that's irrelevant. You destroyed your bloodline by doing that. Okay, you destroyed it if you did that. And we know that the old timers of the past, when we're talking about, let's say, pit bulls, for example, they like the dogs to be crazy,
Rowdy, yeah.
right? Because that's all you was using. There was one-trick ponies back in those days. They wanted to be, loose cannons and shit. As long as they ain't biting them and the kids, they could be crazy and all that stuff. As long as they doing what they need to do to handle their business in the pit, cool. But that's why they can do those inbreedings 1,000 times or whatever, 100 times, because they don't care how them dogs look.
Yeah, they don't.
And
That's it. They don't care.
Yeah, because it's all about performance. So, but there's only one type of performance. See. However, we as dog men, we've evolved. We know that that's not how you're supposed to breed.
Yep.
Because nature don't do it that way either. Okay. The alpha, he's the number one. He competes with other alpha packs. He's got his pack, but he competes with the other ones. Then if he beats that alpha male, then he gets all his bitches too. So guess what? He agreed with his pack of bitches and the new male that he and the other male that he dominated pack. That's how that variance of genetics work, right? But see, the common denominator is if that alpha is that bloodline, he's continuing his DNA in each one of those females.
Yeah,
exactly.
Continue the legacy.
Continue the line, the legacy. So you know how today people talk about dogs from 20 years ago, 30 years ago, however many years ago, 10 years ago that are not alive, and you got their greats and great grandkids living in
generation. They got 8th generation, 9th generation
line of dog. That is not correct.
Correct.
That is a lie. Because I don't know my great grandfather. I'm sure I don't look like him either. Let's keep it real.
Right.
See that inbreeding shit. They used to do that back in the day. The royals used to do that shit because they believed that they were going to keep their blood pure. They was doing that shit like animals. But then they found out they was creating retarded ass, dumbass kids.
Yep.
So they got hip to that shit because they made mistakes. Like, okay, yeah, this is our lineage, but genetics don't work that way. It's got to be a variant to it to the hybrid vigor. It's got to be a variant to produce better. So then that's when they started breeding with other kingdoms' kids. They only match kings with kings' kids. And that's how they would get their royal blood. They wouldn't do no peasant shit unless you're dealing with some bastard shit, and they ain't claiming those bastard kids. But I mean, that's how it worked back in those days with humans. We talking about humans now.
Right.
Right.
So same thing with all animals, the same thing with dogs. And since we're talking about dogs, it's like you can't say to yourself, like I put myself in that spectrum, right? I know I'm gonna keep my AK-47 chopper line. You know why? Because I have semen on tap. And I'm gonna make sure that even though the AK might have transitioned to the next dog life, I got AK in the third dimension still here. His DNA is still with me.
So that's still his blood.
Yeah.
I can still infuse him into his great grandkids to make it back relevant where AK is back in that fucking top 3 every time. So I can say that's a AK-47 chopper XL Pitbull because you see AK all through that motherfucker, and he's still in the current. His DNA is still present in that first top 3. He's still present. Plus, all the generations back, he was present. See what I'm saying? But see, today, how people talk today because it's all hype. It's not reality. They making dogs that's long gone, dead in the dirt, been dead, like they living today. They ain't no fucking way. Unless they doing it like how we mentioned. If that dog that's 30 years back in the day dead is in your first 3, I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
That's it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you're right. All that shit that go back 9, 10 generations, nah.
If he's not in there, yeah, it's not. It's not, because those dogs are that. Just think about how the OGs was doing that back in the day. If that dog that was relevant and that dog that was on a high level, was worthy to be called a line, they skipped who was, let's say he beat his predecessor who was his line. They just X'd him out. They X'd the line that he used to be. Now he's his line. You follow what I'm saying? So that's really how the dynamic works. That's how
they send lines till you get your puppy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then it's really your line.
I want to flip it for a minute, right? because coach, like earlier, like you were saying how you know how your dogs are, how they feeling, due to they poop, right?
Right.
And when you had dogs for so long, like you, myself, mostly all of us, when you had dogs for so long, you start to learn things. So also, like when you get the inbreeding, you also lose a lot of things. Like one dog may have, you know, might have a head, it might have a head on them. You inbreed that with the daughter that you kept off of that, and then that motherfucker a string bean. You know what I mean? Like it don't look nothing like how that one look.
Right.
Or you get, you know, other genetic defects, like you get, regress vulva, or you get, you know, he can't produce if it's a male. You get certain things when you do that too much. So like even on like just like breeding it back. A lot of these guys they get fascinated with
Right.
just
Yeah.
the pedigree.
Yeah.
Right.
So if I get a big scroll back from the ADBA or I get a big scroll back from the UKC, then this is what I produce, and that's what it becomes more so. This is what I produced, and this is what makes sense, and this is a better dog. You understand?
Right.
Yeah. I like that.
I
Yeah.
love that. Yeah, you're exactly right, Duro. But that's why this topic is important for those of us who understand the dynamics of a dog and dogs, understand the genetic mathematics. Don't believe the hype of pedigrees.
Mm-hmm.
We deal with the dogs that's in front of us. So if I'm a mad scientist and I'm trying to recreate a dog to look similar to a dog that was in the original line, the only way I can do that is to reintroduce it back. I have to outcross like Corey was talking about because I don't want to destroy the line.
Yep.
I gotta keep it fresh with the new blood, but then still infuse the foundation in there to keep it still looking like the original, right? But that's an art form in itself because not every dog that you breed that original to, unless it happens to be AK. But most of the time, you're gonna get a variant between the females. Since we're talking about, let's say a male is a line, you'll get a variant based off the female and her ability to produce good with that male. Not every female match well genetically with that top tier male.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And why, Coach? Tell them why.
Well, first and foremost, not every dog is a good producer. So,
Right.
well, the genetics of that dog might be superior, but like I say, all we got to do is look outside of the dogs and look at humans, right? And look at your siblings, your brothers and sisters.
Yep.
And let's say you have a family of brothers and sisters, then you get to see based off the siblings who was the one that excelled and who was the one that's a fuck up. But they still came from the same genetic pool. You know what I'm saying? Or you could have been the excel, right? You excelled out of the siblings, right? Your brother was a fuck up. He get with a girl, married, whatever, has your nieces and nephews, and you got your kids, and then your nieces and nephews is more superior than your kids.
Mm-hmm.
You're
Nah,
like,
it just jumped. It jumped the fucking gen.
well, I wouldn't say that. It's about matching genetics.
Mm-hmm.
You still got quality DNA in your fucking ball sack.
Right.
Right.
Your brother, even though he's a piece of shit, he still came from that same genetic pool that you came from. So it's still in his DNA makeup.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't, even though he's acting like a piece of shit, doesn't exclude what's in his fucking ball sack.
Right.
It's like what dog you got in your yard, Coach, that probably wouldn't be a good match for AK.
AK can produce with any dog on the yard.
I know that, but I'm saying like, if it might not give them what you may be looking for.
Man, you know
It's,
what?
it's
That's
always gonna be
that's a
AK.
hard
Right?
question to answer because with me, Duro, I like genetic variants. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not just looking for all my dogs to be like AK. I like the variants that my gene pool gives me. Okay. Me
Right.
personally. Now, what I consider a dog that's a great producer like AK is that even though there's variants, you see AK in every one of the dogs I breed them into. That's all that tells me you're a good producer. When I see you in the dogs, phenotypically and genotypically, but I see the variant of who I bred them to, that's to me is a great producer. I'm not trying to produce clones because
Right.
you know what I'm saying? I
Yeah,
already got AK. I put his I put his DNA in a vial that's over there at my damn sperm clinic. I got AKs on ice, right?
Yeah.
right,
But what we trying to do as dogmen that we're pioneers and we're creating, I want to create better than AK.
right.
Right.
I want to
So
create Black Hawks and their own dog. They're their own dogs because then they can be their own bloodline. If Black Hawk
Exactly.
be a superstar, I'm not gonna say, oh, that's an AK son. No, it's Black Hawk.
The Blackhawks were.
kind of like I might have I might have asked that the wrong way. But this is what I'm saying basically. So back in the day we had a dog we did a breeding with. We had a white piebald female named White Girl, right? So what I'm saying is that when we took Muggsy to White Girl, she didn't the puppies didn't come out the way that we wanted them to, right? Like it wasn't that they wasn't fire, but it was like, damn, bro, like Muggsy is bone the fuck up. Like this, this big ass pit bull. This is probably like honestly, this probably like 9'7", 9'8".
Mhm.
So we like might have been 9'9". Might have been 9'9", cause I remember certain songs was out back then when my brothers did that. But the thing is, what I'm saying is, right now when we took Shaq to White Girl, whoa. So the thing was, what I was saying is, it was like not every dog go good with like every dog. You know what I'm saying? Like
That's true.
it's not like them Jones is not fire, and like it's not like yo we just like man they trash, but it's like when you breed and you're an artist, because that's what you're breeding for. You looking for different things, whether it's that drive, whether it's that protection, whether it's that structure, whether it's that bone, whether it's that function, whether it's that whatever whatever it is, you breeding for that reason, and that's what it becomes your art. So you know what I'm saying. That's what I was saying. Like you have a dog that's like you like yo. I like this bloodline. The mother is fire. The mother big as hell. The mother's big, boned up, and then you breed the mother with the dog who just is boned up. But then you get the puppies. You keep them and see. You keep two and see what they're gonna turn out to be. And you're
Mhm.
like, man, these motherfuckers ain't really. They fire, but they ain't really what I thought they was gonna do. Like they shorter than I thought they would be, or they slimmer than I thought they would become. You know what I'm saying? It's something, and it's not like I said, it's not like they trash because you like you said, like you're not trying to reproduce AK. So it's not like you try. It's not like we trying to reproduce Shaq, but it's that thing. It's like yo, but we thought we was getting. Well, Shaq actually did give us bigger bulls. So it's like, but Muggsy didn't. So that's what like. That's what I'm saying. Like sometimes you get that too, with kind of like fuck up your blood or your line that you was. I mean, it happened with me, so what I mean, I can't really.
I kind of got a similar kind of story, like that. Like my cousin had this female pit. She was like some red nose. She was white, and I say white and brown. And his man's down the block had this male pit. That joint was mad brolic, but it had like a breathing problem. That joint was mad inbred, yo.
Mm.
And I think they used to fight him, and he would win the fight. Like that joint was mad inbred, but it just had this crazy breathing problem. They had the son too. He ain't have the breathing problem, but he was just mad crazy. He used to
Right.
get it in with his pops and all that. So my cousin wanted to breed with that joint. He bred with it. That they threw 15 puppies back to back, and all them puppies end up killing each other except like 2. And my cousin kept the male and the female. He sent one of them down south to Georgia and kept the other one in Queens. And the one that was in Queens, that joint was a killer. That joint didn't care. It didn't bark. It just went at joints. You know what I'm saying?
That
The
joint
one
was
he was
crazy.
gonna give me, that joint hung itself. It hung itself from the window, like when that joint was trying to get at the mailman through the window, and it was a baby. You know what I'm saying? And the
Yeah.
joint was tied up to the radiator, and the joint went through the window and like kind of it was about to slip the collar, and the joint tugged in like some way, and it just hung itself. And I was
Oh shit.
coming to get it, and I seen that joint like that.
That's
I'm
some
like,
crazy shit, bro.
yeah, them joints was active, but they was like retarded. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
What up, T? I ain't see T in a minute, man. Much
Oh, what's
love, bro.
good, T?
Word. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, yeah.
Yeah, them joints was bananas, man. And he kept the joint to like 7 months. He couldn't really mess with it.
Yeah.
He was trying to give it to me, but that joint was too turned up, man. I couldn't take that with me.
I got you.
Yeah.
So let me elaborate on that a little bit, Duro and Young Ready. So think about in music, how many producers are out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Probably millions of producers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
In music, even in movies. But let's talk music. Keep it simple. How many producers are super producers? Few to the, let's say, hundreds of thousands or millions of producers that's out here that produce music. So, what justifies a super producer in dogs is regardless of which female you breed it to, uh, you will see that dog in the production, in that mix. You will see the dog in it.
Mm-hmm.
Not every dog, and we know this, and I'm gonna tell you, I know this, is a super producer. There's dogs that are producers, which kind of what you were alluding to. Duro is like, you bred them with this particular female, and you bred them with that particular female. You was expecting this, but didn't get that, and you saw that you bred it to another female. Did you got what you expected? So see, that's a hit and miss. But if you have a dog like you asked about AK. I bred AK. When you take AK to a band dog that has 4 different breeds in it, equally infused in its DNA genetic pool. Okay. When I take AK to 2 littermate sister females that got 25% Mastiff, 25% American Bulldog, 25% Boxer, 25% Pit Bull, and AK is all through that shit. That right there
That's
is
complete.
it's like, yo, that nigga's genetics is dominant. Like he dominate that shit. You see him in all his dog, everything that I put AK to so far, which is only 2 different types of dogs, family of dogs, 2 family of dogs. They're all littermate sisters, but 2 different family of dogs. AK is running rampant all through them. So for me, who understand genetic mathematics, who respects variance, because I do respect the variance of the dogs, when I see AK still push through all of that, all them different breeds, you still see AK in that motherfucker? Like with the 74, AK 74, there's only one out of that litter. There's only one out of that litter that kind of resembled a bulldog. Went out there to one of my clients out there in Virginia, man. Salute to him. He kind of resembled a bulldog, but it still was an AK bulldog. Like you could tell that was AK son, but it was like a bulldog version of AK. I'm like, damn, that's like a bulldog. Like his build was like a bulldog. He had the underbite, but it looked like an AK bulldog. Like, damn, that shit look like AK, but it's a bulldog. You know what I mean? So when you mention a dog like AK, and you say out of all the females that I have, which I have a variety pack, you know, which one probably wouldn't give that perfect complementary breed, you know, breeding production, if that's what you was meaning by that, Duro, I would say AK will produce with all of them because that's how strong his, you know, his production, you know, level is. If that makes sense, Duro.
Yeah, I'm with you, Coach. But do you have a dog, or did you have a dog prior that didn't?
Yeah, oh, for sure. Oh, yeah, for sure. That's what see. That's what I'm saying. Goes back
So
to
what? They threw a litter of duds.
nah, never no duds.
Never a dud, but it just wasn't.
Your expectations, right? Because you know we're breeding for a reason. We have lab
I
notes.
ain't really mean it that way, though.
Yeah, no, I understand what you mean, you know, young ready. But what I'm saying is like you have an expectation, like Duro was talking about, or like all of us understand as breeders, right? We have an expectation while we're breeding. We expect to see a blending of mom and dad.
Right.
Now, based off of that expectation, we know we're only assisting God. We're not God. So whatever comes out of that, you just have to, hopefully, if you're able to keep. That's why I tell you how important it is when you're building programs and you're building dogs and you're creating from scratch, like we doing over here as pioneers. You got to have the whole litter around you, because the one you might pick might not be the best one that grows up to be this, the dog you want to visually see.
Right.
Now, the flip side to even that, even though that dog you pick is the dog that you visually wanted in your lab, doesn't mean that dog's going to produce it. It might be the dog that was the runt. This is the piece of shit you gave to your homeboy for free that's producing the dogs, the next generation that's like blowing smoke, like blowing the fucking brakes off of your dog that you got. You're like, damn, how's that fucking piece of shit dog that I gave home producing better than the one I got?
Nah, that's so real, man.
That's how real it is when it comes to producing, right? The dog that you have in front of you, that is the dog that you want, that's level one. Now, if you're not breeding, you just wanted to produce that dog, then you accomplish your goal. You see what I'm saying, fellas? Like you accomplish your goal if you have that dog in front of you and you're not breeding. Now, if you want to continue that and you're hoping and praying that you can produce what you got and it doesn't, that's just how the genetic variances roll. Not every dog is a producer. It's facts.
Mm-hmm.
And for those who aren't strong in production, if you don't got the right female to enhance his weakness, then you over there fucking breeding duds, like what you want to call young ready. You're producing duds because you got a dog that really ain't a good producer, but you matching with bitches that don't complement his genetics, and you really because you're not getting better, you're getting worse. So it's really an art form, and you have to keep litters.
But
you
what if they were garbage? They look trash, but they could work good. Like they work great.
If you have a dog that you're breeding for work purposes, like when we talk with the game dogs, they didn't care how they look, it was for the work, right? So
Right.
if that was your purpose to hunt with the dog and it looked like shit, but it was an exceptional hunter, of course you're keeping that dog. It's not about, it's about what you're using it for. Of course I'm keeping it. If it's a top tier performing dog, but he looked like trash, I'm keeping that. If I was using that dog for a purpose.
Right.
But being that I need my dogs because it's a business for me, I need my dogs to produce better. Not just look amazing, but you have to produce amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm looking for at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sending my dogs on hogs and stuff like that. I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not sicking my dogs on human beings. As long as I know that they can do it and they're smart, that means they can learn. They got dog awareness, they can learn, and they look amazing. They're built for performance. And then not only that they look amazing, their temperament's right, phenotype, genotype is on point, but then when I cook them up to a bitch or cook that female up to a male, they're producing what I'm seeing, like what I got. They're producing that, they're reproducing that, and then I'm getting that hybrid vigor. When I outcross, I'm getting better. And then when I want to tighten it up, when I inbreed, I'm not losing shit. I'm just tightening up. Then hey, my math is making sense for me.
Nah, no doubt.
Thanks.
So that's how we have to see it. It's a process. Okay, it's a process. And experimenting. You can't throw a litter in the trash because of what you think a dog's gonna be, because your thinking and what it is two different things. What you hope for and what's going to happen is two different things. And because of my experience, I can speak with this type of conviction because I've kept litters and I've bred females and males that, I didn't know that AR. Now I haven't put AR-15 to another bitch, which I will probably do it in the future. But anyway, I didn't know that AR-15 will produce the way he produced because, he's a 25% cross band dog, 4 different breeds. But he produces ass off. Now it might just be Tigress too. I can't discredit Tigress, but I've only bred him to Tigress. You know what I'm saying? Follow what I'm saying?
Right.
When I got him and Tigress, this is amazing dogs. Now that just could be their genetic combination because AR-15 has American Bulldog 25%, and Tigress is full-blooded American Bulldog. And then the type between Tigress's dad and the mom, right? You got the bully type with Tigress's dad, and then you got the sport type with Tigress's mom. Then you got, of course, that high performance band dog that is my foundation band dog recipe, which is AR-15. You know what I'm saying? Maybe those genetics just really mesh with each other.
Yes.
Hey, Coach, what's the golden Black Mama genetics?
That was my high performance bully program I was doing. So Black Mama is GOAT. Excuse me, Black Mama is Profit times Tiny. So I went my big XXL bully Profit with my smallest bitch Tiny, produced Black Mama, and then GOAT is my XXL extreme male. Okay, that's GOAT. And I was trying to just put, I want to put a pit bull motor in my XXLs. You know what I'm saying? Now, what I got though wasn't XXLs though. You know what I'm saying? They didn't turn out to be XXLs like I thought they would be. You know what I'm saying? They're nice, they're beautiful dogs, but they're not XXLs. You know what I'm saying? They just kind of like, some of them came out kind of pit bull type, like a bigger pit bull type. Some of them came out not really bully type, but like more bullier than a regular pit bull as far as their bill. But to me, that genetic cook up didn't produce what I envisioned in the lab. It produced some dope ass dogs, but not what I envisioned in the lab.
Okay.
So what I say, GOAT is a super producer? No. Now, what GOAT produced with Africa? Amazing. That's how I got Big Shug and all the other dogs I sold. That was amazing dogs. But I didn't know that those dogs would be looking the way they are with Africa. So it goes back to, like I said, experiment. Okay. I threw Africa and GOAT together because I was trying to do those high performance bullies, but I didn't think I was going to get big ass bullies with the motors.
Mhm.
I was gonna get maybe smaller because I threw Africa in there, but no, I got big ass dogs. You know, Big Sugar is to me better than Goat. Goat got a little bit more bone. He got a tad bit more bone than Big Sugar, but Big Sugar got the body, the head, and everything, structure, all the shit.
Oh yeah, he fit.
That's all that wide body shit. Yeah.
All the shit, the
He
neck,
wide.
everything, the head. He
He
got all
wide.
that shit.
Yeah. Everything check out on him.
So what that told me in the lab is that genetic variance between Africa, who's my pit bull, and Goat, who's my double XL extreme pit bull, that genetic variance, that genetic code between them two produce big ass fucking dogs. But got the drive and all the shit that I put in it. So, you know, I really thought I was going to produce bigger with Goat and Black Mama because of profit, but because of that variance, those dogs didn't come out like that. You know what I mean?
Damn. You only did that one breeding like that with them?
I only did one breeding. Now I do have the only male that was in that litter, my boy Black Bull. You know what I'm saying? He is probably going to have the thickness, but he's not going to have the height that I thought he was going to have. And you know what I'm saying? Like he's not going to have that height, but he's a big ass dog. He's a big dog, but he's a lot, like he's more compact. He's more compact and like he don't have the height that I thought that he would have. You know what I'm saying? But he's a big ass dog. So he's going to have a size. He's probably the closest that I envisioned, but I expected a little bit more height. Like I expected like Profit, but like with the extreme features of Goat. That's what I expected with the motor of Tiny, the Pitbull motor. But I got like a collage, you know what I'm saying? I really got a collage of type dogs that's all in that blood, whatever's in them dogs. I got like a collage of dogs. None of them is the same. None of them.
So, Coach, I gotta ask you. Besides, like Lions Lair, since we talking about like the bloodlines and stuff, like besides Lions Lair, Buff Dogs, and what did you ever have like some of the old school blood, like the Eli Bolio, Sorrows, and all that stuff?
Yeah. In the when I got my first paper pit bull back in 97, 97 or 96, I had some of that blood, but see, I didn't even know what that was back in those days.
Right.
Honest, I didn't know how to read no pedigree.
Right.
And to be real with you, I just got my ADBA slip. I never turned that shit in because I was like, what? I think I was like 17 when I bought my first paper dog. So I didn't know, you know what I mean? I just thought the papers was really what they gave me and shit. So I never turned it in and registered the dog or nothing like that. I just had that slip and stuff like that because I was just new to that and nobody around me was buying, paper dogs, at that price rate, which is what I bought. You know what I'm saying? Like motherfuckers buying backyard pit bulls back in our day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So if you had known, would you have kept that blood going or trying to keep that blood going? Or would
if I was a breeder back then, yes. Not necessarily the blood, but the dog, because I lucked out and I just lucked out. And honestly, it wasn't luck. It was just who I am when it comes to the dog. That's why I'm the dog god. It's just my dogs just embody who I am. If you're around me, you're gonna embody the energy that I represent because that's what I exude. So my dogs do that too. So when I got the dog from this particular breeder, I didn't know where it came from, the bloodline. I just was that's back in the day when you go into the classifieds on your paper, the newspaper.
Right.
You see, pets, pets classify. You go to pit bulls for sale. You know what I mean? Oh shit, okay, cool. I'm calling dudes up and stuff like, hey man, yeah, I'm looking for a red nose. That's how I'm looking for a red nose male. Hey, come over, come see me. They didn't have no pictures in the newspaper back in those days. You know what I'm saying? It was just classified. So we going over there. Me and my cousin, we just going out there looking at dogs. And then I just went to this breeder. I think we went to like 4 breeders and stuff like that. And I went to this breeder. I saw this damn pied red nose. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know the paper. He was paper, but I didn't know nothing about it. He wasn't telling me, hey, this is a Eli Carver dog. It wasn't nothing like that. It was like ADBA registered paper red nose pit bull. I just looked at him. I was like, oh, that dog looks dope. I looked at the parents, the mom and the dad. The mom looked like shit, of course, but the dad was a beast. But I, now I understand why the mom looked like shit, because he was just nursing puppies. I get it now. But when I was young, I didn't know nothing about that shit. Like, damn, the mom like shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
But the dad was impressive. So I'm a rookie out by the dog. So to answer your question, Duro, if I knew then and I was breeding what I was buying, salute to you, Carolina Blue. If I knew what I was buying, probably because I was a rookie, I probably would be trying to piggyback off of that. Oh, this dog is whatever. Because my dog was the shit. You know what I'm saying? It was the shit. So even what I paid for him, my dog was wreaking havoc in my circle, just wreaking havoc. And like I said, back in those days, we wasn't letting them do, we wasn't boxing them. We were just like I mentioned before, like we would call it, let them hit. When a dog was in distress, we would always break them up, and that's it. You know what I mean? Because we loved our dogs, so we weren't trying to do that. But we still was trying to test our dogs in those days. But my dog was running amok on everybody's shit. Everybody's shit, running amok on everybody's shit. So much so that I had, I was staying with my parents, and then my dog, he was smart too. He knew how to break out and shit like that. And so he was running loose to the neighborhood one time, man, and had all the neighbors scared and shit like that. My dad's like, you gotta get rid of this dog, man. I'm like, why, man? He's like, you gotta get. I was chasing your dog around the whole neighborhood. He had the whole neighborhood jumping on their cars and stuff. Like, he ain't gonna fight nobody. He's like, you gotta get rid of this dog. Period. You know what I mean? So I had to get rid of my dog. I was so bitter, but I sold him for what I paid because all my homeboys and I done wrecked havoc so many dogs. So to answer your question, I would have, if I was breeding Duro, I would have continued that. If I understood bloodlines, I probably would have piggybacked it and said it was that, because that's all I knew. You know what I'm saying? Because I was a rookie I'm a young nigga. I'm a rookie. I don't know no better. I just wanted to flex on my partners because they was buying backyard dogs, and I'm out here with a paper dog.
Right.
And it's not from the same town. I got my shit from a whole nother city. So you can't say, oh, I got that dog too. No, you don't. I went to a whole nother city, got my dog. None of y'all got this shit. Y'all shit is backyard.
So, do you have like a favorite pit bull bloodline or no?
Nah.
Because
I know better.
Right.
I know that the dogs of the past are not the dogs of today. Back to the topic.
Yeah, that's why I asked. That's exactly why I asked.
AK, for example, he's not his daddy. He come from his daddy, but he's not his daddy. So, because I know this, because of experience, I can say that. Now, if I want to piggyback off a Gunner, I could do that if I wanted to, because if I was naive to dogs, yeah. But being that I've seen Gunner productions, and none of them is like AK. None. Okay? None. Then, if I know that Gunner is not producing himself or better, but I got AK who's his own, but he's producing himself and better, then shit, why would I piggyback off a Gunner for?
Right.
AK is who he is. AK done solidified himself as who he is. And that's credit to his mama and his daddy. Genetics, which produce hybrid vigor, which sets him apart from his siblings. Not only that, he produces himself. That puts him in the Hall of Fame. That boy, he's legendary. Puts him in the Hall of Fame. He's a freak. He producing himself. Period. So this is stuff that you learn, though. What I'm saying, Duro, is like I had to learn this type of shit. Right. I was the pedigree. How would I say it, man? I was the pedigree peddler.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be that when I was a rookie, and I used to listen to other dogmen talk stuff to sell you something. Well, before I knew these guys was lying, I used to believe in it. When I used to do breedings based off of pedigrees and not produce what I thought was in the pedigree, I was like, wait. Why I do this breeding? I'm not producing these dogs. What's
Right.
going on?
Yeah.
Because that's how you know. That's how you know when somebody lying, right
Yeah.
there. When you produce, or even like if say like a breeder was trying to sell you a dog, and their main thing was to sell you this dog, and they like, hey man, you know, I got this off of Gunner. You know what I'm saying? And then you get that puppy, and you know what I'm saying, that puppy turned 3 years old, and that motherfucker look like a greyhound. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You like, yo, how the hell is this off a Gunner, man? You know what I'm saying? But people will sell you some shit like that just to get your money and tell you, oh, that motherfucker gonna be 110 pounds, and then you get that motherfucker is 30 pounds. You know what I'm saying?
But
So
watch this.
they all be lying.
Watch this, Duro.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, this is respect to my brother Greg. You know what I'm saying? I got nothing but love and respect for my brother Greg who produced Gunner. When Greg had Gunner, before Simon got him in the UK, I wouldn't have bought a dog off him. To keep it real with you. Gunner, how he looked when Greg had him, he was heavy. He was heavy built. He was, you know, he was heavy built. Now,
Strong boy. Yeah.
now,
Crazy.
when the UK boys got him, when Simon got him, okay, Simon like me, he wanted his dogs looking like athletes. So when Simon shred that boy up, had him on that regiment, you see what Gunner look like.
Mhm.
That's what impressed me about Gunner. I wasn't into red dog. I don't care about no color.
Yeah.
Right.
So it wasn't I want a red dog. I want a red pit. I saw Gunner in tip top, looking like how I like my dogs, shredded weak, Bruce Lee up,
Word.
drive through the roof. I'm like, ooh, that reminds me of some old school game dog, but bigger. So when I seen that, I'm like, oh yeah. Oh yeah, I need something off of him. And then when I seen his other dogs looking the same, then I'm like, okay, that's what I need. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm looking for that. I'm looking for the performance base. You know what I'm saying? Right. When he was in Greg's hands, he had drive. He always has this drive, but he didn't look like the performance dog that I wanted.
Right.
If that makes sense. So, for example, when you cook Gunner up, who probably wouldn't look like that in anybody else's hands, but because he was with a guy who is really in tune with conditioning like I am, who knows how to feed his dogs like I do, okay, he made that dog look better than what he can produce, if that makes sense.
Yep.
That's why when I kept track of all Gunner's offspring, and I'm like, they're not trash, but they're not top tier. They're decent dogs. That's a decent dog. Oh, that's a decent Gunner son. Oh, that's a decent Gunner daughter. Decent.
Damn. Crazy.
It's facts. Even when Greg, he got some semen from Simon off a Gunner, and he took it back to some of his King Murdoch blood. When he did that, he didn't produce what he thought he was going to produce. He wasn't satisfied. Like he wasn't really happy with that. He kind of low-key felt like he might have even got some bunk semen. Like, hey, man, I don't know if he gave me the right semen.
Damn.
That's how he kind of felt because he didn't produce what he thought he was going to produce.
Right.
With that Gunner semen. So the reality of it is, King Murdoch, Gunner's dad, yeah, he's a super producer. He produced Gunner and all kind of other dogs out there. So shout out to King Murdoch. He got a super producer with Gunner's dad or AK's granddad, but it didn't pass on to Gunner as a super producer. He looked amazing, and that's credit to, you know, Greg too, because he produced them, but really credit to Simon for keeping them in that condition and made them, you know, he illustrated them in that level. He, you know, he put them on that pedestal where we like, wow. But he didn't produce his wildness other than AK with
Damn.
Abe.
That's crazy, man.
But as a breeder,
But
okay, as a breeder who was in the lab and have done these experiments, I can attest to that. I can tell you that that's how it works.
Right.
You know, you're not guaranteed a producer. That one that you like, that is wow, that everybody likes, is not guaranteed to produce dogs like him or better, or her or better.
That's a fact.
so you can't get half of them looking like the pops and the other half taken from the moms.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
You can have all
Yeah,
that.
you can.
You can have that. But
Yeah.
see, how would you know unless you in the lab cooking? You're not
Yeah.
gonna know unless you're in the lab cooking. Not only that, how are you gonna know if you get rid of puppies? A puppy is not gonna tell you what type of dog it is. It's a
Not
puppy.
at all.
Nope.
Not at all.
So you keep your little first and second pick, whatever you pick, you know, because you know this is the best puppy. But then, like I said, you know, you sell the dog you don't think is the best puppy, and that dog turned out to be the best dog.
Mhm.
Or like we mentioned before, the dog that looks like shit is the best producer.
Best
Right.
producer.
It definitely gets tricky.
Yeah.
And that's why you have to experiment, you know, and really kind of like also have that vision. You're not just breeding just to breed. And that's what a lot of people do. That's why they don't keep nothing off of anything they produce. You ask them, what's your keeper? You know, they'll pick, you know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, this one right here is my keeper. And then, you know, next thing you know, that dog gone.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? But then they'll also do that to up the ante on the money. So they'll say, you know, this is my keeper. You know, if you want this, you know what I'm saying, you got to pay this amount because this one was my keeper. You know what I'm saying? So it's a tricky game. It's a dirty game. And you know what I'm saying? If you've been in the field, you can really sniff out who's who, like who really, you know what they know and who just trying to sell a dog. Because there's a difference between being a breeder and a person just trying to sell a dog. Just like there's a difference between a jeweler and a person that sells jewelry. You
Right.
understand?
True.
So, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Facts, man.
Big facts. You know what I mean? Big facts. And then of course that ties back into our topic, you know. It's just like what these individuals like. A lot of you guys are younger than I and myself and young ready and you know, and I love being able to impart this wisdom when it comes to this dog game to you guys as young men because I didn't have this. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
now you guys have somebody, like I said, a player coach. I'm coaching, but I'm still in the field doing this live. Like everything I'm talking about is relevant right now. It's playing today. So when we speak on these things, we're not going to downplay the dogs of the past because that's not what we do. But we're not going to act like those dogs of the past is living today. You know, we're not. We know we're beyond that over here in this classroom.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, for example, I got some buff dog DNA. I can say that if I wanted to piggyback off a buff dog's resume, I could say AR-15 is a buff dog because AR-15's dad is Red Bull,
Right.
which is their foundation band dog, their number one band dog that produce all their shit, all their band dogs, all their Rocky Mountain Bulldogs, Red Tiger. That's foundation. That was their prize. That was their super producer dog, was Red Bull. So I could piggyback off that and be like, that's a dog off. That's Red Bull. You know what I'm saying? And anybody who knows buff dogs, they can't challenge me on that because AR-15 and his sisters is Red Bull's sons and daughters.
Right.
So I could do that. But if I'm trying to say, 4 generations down, past Red Bull, 5 generations down, past Red Bull, those are still buff dogs. Those are still Red Bull. That's the Red Bull line because Red Bull is so was popular. And I'm trying to piggyback, like I'm lying to y'all because I guarantee you, as a person who's breeding it, if you want those type of Red Bull dogs, you're not going to produce it.
Yeah.
Right. And that's when you become just a salesman and not a breeder.
You really getting the man's finished work.
Yep.
Correct. That's how I got bamboozled. That's why I'm not in love with the pedigrees no more.
Mm-hmm. Me either.
It doesn't produce what you think it's going to produce. That shit is fucking smoke and mirrors. It's not a guarantee. Even if the pedigree is tight, it's not a guarantee.
Mm-hmm.
It goes even further. Like, even though it's a type, even though it might be an AK-47 chopper dog, okay, his sons and daughters might not be a super producer.
Right.
So I can't even tell you that, hey, this AK-47 chopper son is going to produce like AK. I can't even tell you that. Because I don't know. I can help you get to a variance of it by selecting the right genetics that will match. But even still, based off of dog to dog, that female might be able to produce herself, but that dog that I sold you, that's a male that's superior, might not be able to produce himself, or vice versa. That male might be able to produce himself, but the female that I'm, that I've thrown to or that I'm mixing with, her genetics don't complement it. So, you taking some fucking trash genetics and you taking superior dog AK and you trying to get better than AK, like, bro, you're fucking delusional.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Only way is if you kept that litter to see.
Correct. And even still, like, you taking top tier to trash, you might get a mid-level. Like, you might realistically get a mid-level. You're not going to get better.
Nowhere in there you could produce a top tier. Nowhere.
Okay, I'm talking about Young Red. What I'm talking about is genetics-wise.
Right.
It ain't gonna come close to looking like AK-47.
Like it's not gonna backtrack itself somewhere.
If the genetics, watch this, the only way it can produce better, if the genetics in that, let's say that dog that looked like a piece of shit, his genetics was top tier, or her genetics was top tier.
Yes.
But she just happens to be, or he just happens to be the shit of the pile when it comes to looks. But the genes of that dog come from top tier. So yes, if you throw that to a dog that's top tier, even though that dog look like shit, the genetics is top tier. You can validate, she come from the top tier. She come from top tier pedigree. She just look like the ugly duckling. She can produce you fucking better than the parents, herself, and etc.
She's just a producer.
Genetics.
You could throw a lot.
Remember, the genetics is our mathematical formula. Even though we say the dog in front of us, which is true, it still also could be smoke and mirrors because the dog in front of you could look amazing but come from shit genetics.
Yeah.
Now you expecting that dog that look amazing but come from shit genetics to pass on that look, but it just happened to be a freak of nature out of that genetic build that made him, but because he couldn't pass it on because his genetic, or she couldn't pass it on because her genetics was trash. That shit is real.
No, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
So you gotta really, like I said, like we talk about, like we really in the lab. We in the lab, really like drawing out these mathematical equations for these dogs. Like it's really that level. Like you have to think about what's in your dogs first and foremost. Don't even judge a book by its cover. Don't you dare do it as a breeder. Don't you dare do it because you might be missing out on your best dogs if you say, oh, this dog I just bring in this, this puppy is trash. Oh my God, I want to call it and shit. Well, that dog you called out could be your best producing dog.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You still put the best genetics in that bitch, even though it looked like shit.
Yep.
Like I tell y'all, the only reason why I know is because I've been keeping litters. Like I've bred every dog in the litters. I've seen what they produce. I'm like, wow. Like I would have never thought. Like, you know what I mean? Like you just like, wow. Like, really? You produced that? No. Not you.
Frankenstein.
That's that good ass feeling too.
I mean, it just puts things in perspective for us who really trying to do this at a level, really trying to understand how it works. It's kind of like how they talk about that horse secretariat. I think it's secretariat. Hall of Fame. Right?
Yeah.
However, he could never produce himself. Well, it is what it is. He was produced by Hybrid Vigor, but in his nutsack,
he couldn't push the height of it. Yeah. Damn.
So watch this. His genetics might have been top tier, or his genetics might have been, mediocre, and then that breeder just bumped his head on a freak. It happens. That's Hybrid Vigor. It happens. So now you say, okay, I got this freak. Yes. I'm going to breed him to everything because everybody think, okay, if I breed to that, I'm going to get that. But because through the lab work, you find out like, it doesn't work that way. It really doesn't work that way. It doesn't work like that. So if you was really key to that type of stuff, so let's say, for example, I had Secretariat's mom, dad, or let's say I had Secretariat's dad, granddad, great-granddad semen on ice.
Right.
You got $1 million horses. I don't know. I would have that. I would have them all on ice if I was in that type of industry. Have all on ice. So you know what I would do if Secretariat wasn't doing it? I'll go back in the lab and try to recreate Secretariat. With the past, though, I'll go to the past and try to do it, and then I will keep all the horses that I can off of it, and then I would breed them till I produce another Secretariat or better. That's what I would have did, because I know it's in his mathematical equation genetically, because he was produced. But now I got to recreate what produced him, not him producing him.
Right.
He can't produce it. He hasn't done it. But go back in time and take the variant of the semen, because that's the only way we can't recreate the females, but we can recreate the males again. So whatever variant that produced Secretariat with the father and the grandfather, great grandfather, then I will find females that complement that mom that was Secretariat mom, and I would breed those males to those type of females until I produce another Secretariat. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
And when you rich like that, you got a team like they do. You know what I'm saying? You ain't even taking care. You got a whole damn ranch hands taking care of your shit, man. Breed. Keep breeding. We gonna keep. I got 1,000 acres and shit. You know what I mean? Keep all them damn horses. We're gonna test every single one of them till we make this bad boy again. That's what I would have did.
No, that makes sense, man. That's what you gotta do.
Until you can recreate that. And then once you recreate it, then that dog has to produce. That's a whole nother level. And then let's say it's the horse that you bred might not even be the fastest one, but guess what? That one that's not the fastest one will produce faster than Secretariat. That's how cold this breeding game is when you really in tune with the science of it and you really take your time and you really say, you know what? I don't know everything. I'm just assisting creation. I'm not the creator. I buy the best genetics because I can only do that. I can only base my program off the best genetics. But that doesn't mean I'm going to produce the same or better. Nobody's guaranteed that. However, when you do have those dogs, like I mentioned, for example, AK, okay, before he died, I need to have me 50 to 100 vials of his semen on stack before he passed away.
I feel you. I feel that.
That's real.
So that I can always continue his legacy in the first 3 generations and tell all my consumer who is a fan, who want them AK-47 choppers, that you got one, nigga. You got it. Because AK is still living even though his body is not here.
And he's still brand new.
I mean, shit, I'm hybridvigor.com. That's my favorite genetic ingredient. That's how I produce more freaks of natures like AK with hybrid vigor. That's how I produce a female that is Draca. That, man, it's amazing now that I got her right next to AK. It's like, that's just crazy how that bitch, she's damn near her fucking daddy's size. Like, that's a bitch. And she got that extra credit in her because she got Holy Spirit in her. You know what I mean? But that, I mean, she's on the side of the AK, like she got his bill bone, all the shit. That bitch, that's a big ass bitch.
And she with the smoke.
And she with all the extra credit. You know what I'm saying? Hey, even though I had to move her, away from her half sister, the tiny bitch, the tiny daughter, Desire, I had to move her away from her because Desire had her fucked up over there in between the kennel bars. I mean, I'm sure they was getting it in, but Desire had her all swole up in the face. And that's Tiny's daughter. Okay?
Getting it in, man.
Oh, shit.
Very competitive ass bitches. But my point is that this is what AK do. This is what he do. This is what he produces.
Blood, man.
Yeah, that's the DNA. So if I continued him as a consumer, you like, let's say 20 years down the line, you like, yo, I want an AK-47 chopper line, dog. I can say to you as my consumer, you got it. 20 years later, because guess what? I'm gonna keep AK at least 3 generations in.
Yeah.
Even though it might be his great, you feel me? Daughter, I'm still gonna infuse that in so I can make sure that you get that AK-47 production.
Right.
So now I can tell you 20 years later, that's an AK-47 chopper XL, double XL line, dog. I can say that to you. Now with my AK-74s, I don't know how I'm gonna rock with that one, because even with the AK-74s, I might, whoever come out as the male, I might carry the line on with his sons. Because with my AK-74s, I wanted them to be a man stopper version of AK. AK is not a man stopper. I'm sure you can agitate him to make you, I'm sure if you agitate him, he probably bite the shit out of you, fuck you up, kill you. But that's not natural in him.
That's not his that ain't his disposition.
Yeah.
Correct. It's not natural.
Yeah.
Now, when I made the 74s, I made them to have that because I bred AK to my band dogs. And the chopper to man stopper, I can see that. I can see that in chopper to man stopper. Now, when I breed AK to Silver Bullet in the future, because I want some off of that, okay, When I get a male off of that and a female off of that, that male might supersede Chopper the Man Stopper and AK.
Yeah.
Right.
So am I going to continue that 74 line off, just AK breeding the band dog, when I got a son of his that supersedes him? And not only that, produces? No, I got to let his son take the wave now. Like, you know what? You represent 74 band dogs. You represent what I was envisioning with taking AK to a band dog and making a man stopper version of AK. AK is no longer in that forefront no more. Now it's going to be that 74 band dog that's producing those type of dogs that I had envisioned. So I'm not going to tell you, oh, this is an AK-47 band dog. No, this is an AK-74 band dog.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And whoever supersedes, whoever represents that, that's an AK-74 band dog, or supersedes it, gets the line. They get to continue the line until their kids become better and then they produce better than themselves. That's how it should be done if we're trying to better what we're cooking up, when we're trying to elevate what we're doing as dog men, as pioneers. Every cook up should be better. And then based off of that dog being better, it should be able to produce better. And then, like it should be, you know what I mean? Like how they do cars, like every year, that's how I see dogs. Every breeding it should be better. Just like every year, cars, phones, whatever, clothes, newer model, better, more features.
Better, yeah.
That's how they do it. That's how your dog should be.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Built to last,
Yeah.
complete.
Why
On
are
the
we
north
still
switch.
why are we still holding on to the past? You know what I'm saying? Put your dog in the Hall of Fame, let him be there, but it should be his offspring that represents him or her. And if that dog that represents him or her is better, you give that dog the fucking that, you know what I'm saying? That line.
Yep. You know, sometimes it's hard for people to move on from the past. It's like, you know, we still have people talking about, you know, old football, basketball players, and not that they wasn't great and they weren't who they were. You know, it's not that they're not solidified, but at the same time, it's like it's a new day. It's a new time. So it's like at the end of the day, how much are we going to talk about the old bloodlines? How many times we going to talk about the old school stuff? And what are we going to do moving forward? How do we make our mark and have people talking about us rather than talking about something that someone else created and we keep on piggybacking off of that? And I think that's the problem in the dog community.
Yep.
Yep, I agree. But see, they're not pioneers. They ride other people's waves. They don't understand the process and what the end goal is when you're breeding dogs, right? If you're trying to create the same dog, then what, bro? You might as well clone. Now that you can clone dogs, go spend your money and clone a dog. But if you're someone who, like how we are, I'm saying we because we all in the same classroom, we're artists.
Yeah,
it's an art form for us. We're doing this to create better. If that's how we see society and the things that we live, every year is always better. You watch football, basketball, any type of everything. Every year they're going better, right? The kids are breaking the records of the people who broke records in the past. Like, if we're not thinking that way with our dogs, and you're piggybacking off of a dog that's dead 20 years ago, then you are stale as a dog breeder. You're stale. You have you're not good at what you do.
right.
If we're not talking about his kids, great grandkids, you know what I mean? Whoever that dog that was a pillar and that was a producer at that time in its life, Hall of Fame dog at that time in its life. Okay. If we're not talking about his kids being Hall of Fame, then you just didn't do that dog any type of justice. If you're still trying to piggyback off of a dog Hall of Fame status 20 years ago and you ain't produced anything better than that, then you're not good at what you do as a breeder.
Correct.
Period.
I agree.
Definitely agree with that.
And
That's
that's why
that.
I want. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry, coach.
Go ahead.
That's just how it is, like right now, and I think that's why I call us the real dog community, because we're trying to be pioneers. Like, we're trying to create what that new thing. You know what I'm saying? Coach already got that new thing. That XL Pit Bull is crazy. We all talk about it.
And
We
a
all
double XL pit bull coming soon.
exactly. See, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So, like, we know that, we love that, and that's what I'm saying. That right there, that gets them talking about something that nobody else can really talk about. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference between us and a lot of other people. And I just feel like, whether it's the bully community, whether it's the pit bull community, whether it's the Rottweiler community, doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, well, I can't really say the Rottweiler, but the bully and the pit bull community, you know, for sure, if they get their heads out of their behinds and they just stand up and say, you know what, man, you know, let's create something different. Let's do something different. Let's go a different direction. We did that already.
Yeah.
We had these dogs for 15 years, 20 years, 30 years. I've been doing this and I'm still breeding the same shit. Like, okay, ain't that boring, brother? Like, ain't you tired of that? Because I know I would be.
Right.
Saying so, like, it's just the vision is not there, and then it's just that piggyback, and then it's more easier because then that sells. Then you can get your $1,000, your 500, your 8, your working man price, what they like to say. You can get that money because you saying this is that bloodline, instead of saying, like, like coach, like this is 74 band dog. You know what I'm saying? This is what you come, just that bull herder. This is what you coming to get from Formula One K9s, and that's the difference, man. So that's what I think.
Like, you already know what you're gonna get with coach. You don't know what you getting with these other dudes.
Right.
At all.
Yeah, because they living in the past, like they recreate, like they really think them dogs from 20 years ago is living today. Like, stop that shit. That shit's cap. You know what I mean? You're lucky to get a dog from 3 generations back to play and be in the forefront today. Like, you lucky to get that, a throwback.
You
A real
very lucky to get a fucking throwback because you ain't getting that shit at all. All you getting is like crosses. That's you. It ain't. You gotta find somebody that's really got that shit to even say it's what it really is. Cause
the
they
only way, Corey,
crosses
check it out.
anywhere.
The only way you getting a throwback is if it's 3 generations or less back.
Yep.
You're
That's
not
the
getting no
only
throwback fucking 10 generations back. Stop capping.
Yeah, that's something else.
it's something else by then. It's something else.
It don't happen that way. You know what I mean? Now, you might get a variant of what it might have looked like, maybe a color variant, maybe a head variant, maybe a facial feature variant, maybe a height variant, but you're not getting a duplicate.
Yeah, you ain't getting a duplicate.
Yeah, you ain't getting the whole piece, the whole thing.
You're not getting 50% or 75% or above. Like, you're not getting 50% or above at
Right.
all. And the reason why I can talk with so much conviction is because I used to be that type of naive dogman. I used to believe in those pedigrees. That was 3 times, 4 times, 5 times these type of dogs. And then you wondering why you're not producing those type of dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, damn, how come I'm not? Why am I not producing it? You saying it's 5 times this? It's 10. I should be able to produce that, right? Well, maybe that was 5 times, 6, 7, 8 generations back.
Right.
But up close is not it might be one time up
Yeah.
close.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why you ain't getting what you say you was gonna get, and that's why the pedigree don't 9 times out of 10 doesn't really mean anything, because 9 times out of 10 people lying.
People lying.
People,
Always lying.
all of
Lying.
us has got somehow, some way in the dog game.
Yep.
When it comes to pedigrees and what they say you got, bloodline, this, that, and the third, blah 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 blah. It's all a selling point. It's all in you know, you're naive at a certain point, you know, because all of us is naive at a certain point are like moving in, you know, to the dog game or breeding, you know, you only gonna get that wisdom and that knowledge from doing, you know, and learning, you know, and trying to perfect your craft. But you know what I'm saying, if you don't really got nobody like coach or no mentor in your corner, you know, you coming in naive, you coming in blinded, so you don't really know. So a person tell you, you know, man, yeah, man, I got AK blood, you know, you might think that, you know what I'm saying, you might be like, oh shit, man, I could just get it from this person, you know what I'm saying. Might be a dog that kind of looks similar, so you might think like, oh man, all right, yeah, he got that from coach. Shit, man, coach might not have seen that bull video yet. Might be like, he ain't get that dog from me, you know. But the
Just called
game
a
is
gullible.
but the
Just called a
game is so
gullible.
ill like that though, y'all. It's so ill like that. So like, it's just like, man, I watch everybody, bro. Like I watch everybody channel, like, and I just see it. And I'm never the person that just like really like 100% call people out, but I just be like, man, look at this lying motherfucker. He's lying his ass off just for no
Right.
reason. You know what I'm saying? Like that's because he done sold a litter or two off of saying the shit that he says. So it's like, okay, well, let me keep doing that because that's what's working for me. You know what I'm saying? So like that's how that should go, man.
That's why I kind of stopped watching bad like videos of dogs in America. You know, I don't like the practices. I just look at dogs in other countries. They seem to got they joint right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Other than us, you know.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
And it seems like the people from other countries, the dogmen from other countries, are more pioneer minded.
Right. They staying in their lane and shit.
Not only that, like America, like a lot of us, man, it you know, it's
This is
supposed to
just
be
backwards here, man.
the land of the free, but we so damn, you know, we so damn lazy. You know what I mean? We supposed to be like, we supposed to have it the way like other countries have it. Like we supposed to be doing that. Like we supposed to be pioneers. We supposed to be creating. You know, they supposed to want to come over to the US and get, you
And
know,
come and get shit. Yeah.
saying like that's
Well,
how it's supposed to be.
well, to elaborate on that, Duro, is our society is very microwave based.
Right.
It's not. It's not the marinate, slow simmer, smoke cook. You know what I mean? It's microwave. Put it in there for 3 minutes. You got a fucking, nuked. Oh, you got,
Yep.
you got super dog in a microwave second.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not, that's not. Remember we talked about, when you have a program, it's going to probably take you 10 years at least.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about that. Most people is thinking about these dogs as a money play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I
McDonald's.
understand, which I understand because it's a business for me, but I still understand the process. I still understand I'm not going to be where I need to be as a business until my 10th year, especially as a pioneer. Okay. Because people got to catch on. You got to produce dogs. You got to make your mistakes, all the shit that go along with this process.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you want what you bought and you think you're going to get in the game on a fucking shortcut pass because you got the dog that somebody put 20 years in or whatever, how many years they put in, and you start cooking your first type of cookups and you're not producing that, then you're like, well, damn. Or you are producing it, but you ain't got no market share Now you like, oh fuck, I need to do something else.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this ain't working for me. You know. Oh, I didn't produce what I thought I was gonna produce.
You know how many fools I see produce puppies and then get on their YouTube or their Instagram. Oh, gotta rehome this dog right here. I mean, gotta rehome this dog, and I'm like, damn, bro, like you didn't rehome the whole damn litter. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, get out the game
He
for
never
a minute.
had what he was
Got
getting.
another dog.
It's crazy, man.
It is crazy.
If you look at my man Neil, welcome, man. This is a Neil Mack, man. Welcome, brother. I don't know if you ever been on our live before, man, but welcome. You brought up
Salute.
something that makes sense. He said, yeah, but you can see muscle tone and bossy anywhere. Those are bully bloodlines.
Right.
Now they say grand champion Rocco, I'd be like, I don't see it. Okay, and that's another bully line, Rocco. I got a lot of respect for all three of those breeders. The only thing about bullies that's different from what we're talking about is that bullies is only phenotype. They breed off what you see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They don't breed off of how we breed, which is the totality of the dog, which is a lot harder, right? We not only do we have to have a dog that is superior in its looks, but it has to be superior in its performance, its temperament, and everything else.
Right.
So when you're doing the coefficient of inbreeding, when you're doing that, it's easy to produce a dog. Not easy, it's easier to produce a dog's look than to produce a dog's look and performance. So for those individuals who've established themselves like a Muggleston, a muscle tone and a bossy and Rocco line, they understand that. They understood that. And so they've been breeding, especially Bashar with muscle tone. He's been breeding that way. That's why his dogs are consistent. He understands that. He knows how to produce the same looking dog. He knows his mathematics genetically. He can produce that. Now, are they healthy dogs? I don't know. I don't own none of those. Bossy, she's figured out how to produce her colors and those big dogs. She's bought into her lane and she's done her thing with that. And of course, she's a pretty white woman, so you already know that helps too. But at the same time, I mean, that does help. Sex sells. So sex sells. You feel me?
Yeah. Yeah.
However, I'm not going to discredit her program because she's definitely made a lane and she's doing her thing. So salute to her. But their focus to you as a consumer is what a dog looks like. That's easier for us as breeders to produce because all you gotta do is inbreed the right dogs together and add a couple outcrosses. Yeah, add a couple outcrosses. It's easy to produce colors. So that's not hard to do. Get the color that you want in a dog. For like Bossy, for example, give me 100-pound big boned dog with color and I got y'all. Boom, she got her way. Muscle tone. Let me get the extreme bully, low to the ground dogs. He got y'all. Okay, that's all they got to do, or that's all they got to do is the phenotype. For us though, if the dog look amazing but it performs like shit, or like how I had Red Tiger, I had a dog that looked freakish but wasn't built for top tier performance. So for me as a dogman who want that dog to look like a damn super athlete and perform, then a Red Tiger would really be a piece of shit. Like the OG told me about them dogs. So for you as a consumer looking at the dog, I can sell you a whole bunch of Red Tigers all day because you want that look. Oh, I want that. Oh, look, no Red Tiger. But if you want that look to perform, then you get that dog and he blows up, then I really showed you a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So how we think about dogs versus how the bully people think about dogs is like night and days. It's total opposite because my dog can't look good and not perform the way it looks. It can't. Like, you can't buy a Lamborghini Aventador and that motherfucker run like a Civic.
Facts.
You know, you all excited. I got that Aventador. You know what I'm saying? You take it on the lot. You know what I mean? You step on the gas and shit, and somebody in a fucking Integra is smoking your ass. You like, what? You like, what the hell? I just paid $300,000 for this thing.
Yep.
So it's like, come on, man. Oh, my bad, Neil. Man, hey, maybe I don't know. Have y'all seen Neil Mack? Because you know, I might be bad. Have y'all seen?
I said that he was with us last week.
Okay, my bad. Hey, man, my bad, Neil Mack. Thank you for showing up multiple times, brother. Welcome back. Appreciate your feedback in the chat too. My bad, brother. But anyway, y'all see the difference in how we talking. That's why what we're doing is, you know, it's at a high level, man. Performance with look. You know what I mean? With function, with temperament, like to have dogs that can kill, but have on-off switches.
And it's gonna live longer.
Complete.
And it's gonna live longer.
Complete.
Yeah.
For me to create a red tiger that can breathe, that actually got a brain. What I mean by a brain is that he's got awareness to have an on-off switch. That to me is my goal. Okay. The breeder told me their mistakes because they're out the game. So they don't got nothing to ride anymore. They ain't got a lot to kick it. So when I tap into the breeder, it's just by God. This God that connected me to buff dogs. They out the game. And then because they out the game, she tells me the truth about them because I already told her I'm buying. So she already got to sell. She ain't got to sell me on her dogs. I already told her I'm buying.
Right.
I don't care. I'm buying because I want that. I was a fan since 2005. I'm buying. So she tells me all the pluses and minuses before I even get the dog because she knew I'm buying. I don't care. I told her that. So now I'm coming in knowing the flaw, knowing that I got a so-called performance dog that's not built for performance all the way. They focus on looks because the looks sold them the dogs. The look of the dog sold their dogs. Period. So if I take away from the look by adding something that's going to change the look to improve the performance, now we're not selling dogs no more. So she told me that.
Facts.
Yep.
So me understanding what I purchased when I got to see it firsthand, what she told me made sense. The dogs look freakish and had drive, but was dumb because they didn't know how to stop. The tiger didn't know how to stop pacing. When he wanted something, he would just pace back and forth, pace back and forth, pace back and forth. He would do that shit all day. Like, yo, Ron, like, chill out. Why are you pacing? But he had no on-off switch. And, of course, he couldn't breathe. So, of course, that was his demise. Take an L. You can't cool off. You pacing like you a damn Ethiopian distant runner. But you know, your breeder didn't breed you accordingly to your drive.
Right.
Your breeder was breeding you with your cousins and, you know, because they want to keep that look, right?
Yeah.
So breeding them cousins and uncles and whatever they was doing, okay, which gave you the look, the phenotype, but destroyed your performance, broke you down inside. So for us, it's a lot harder for us to balance everything, like to get that body style, but then put the fucking best high performance motors and intakes and, you know, the drive, the smarts, like you said, the smarts and all that. Like that's why hybrid vigor is our best friend.
Yes,
That's why when I decided to take Red Tiger to Silver Bullet, I didn't know what I was going to get. I knew that Silver Bullet had Red Tiger's great grandfather in him, Red Bull, but that's all. All the old English bulldogs, the American bulldogs, the band dogs, and all the shit that all that is not in Silver Bullet. However, hybrid vigor came through for me.
Right.
Because Red Tiger just so happened to be a producer. Only bred him twice. Now it's 3 times, but the first time didn't take with tigers. The second time I bred him with a totally different dog. It wasn't even a bulldog. It was my band dog, Silver Bullet. And then I produced Red Tiger Jr., which is, he's his daddy, but better.
Right.
Taller than his daddy. He looked like his daddy. He ain't got the elbow dysplasia because, you know, the bulldogs got that real bold. He ain't got the elbow dysplasia like his daddy. He can breathe better than his daddy, but he looked just like his daddy, but like a taller version.
Yeah, he do.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't know that Silver Bullet would complement Red Tiger, but I didn't know that Red Tiger could produce himself. So I benefited from Red Tiger actually happening to be able to produce a version of himself, but I elevated because of hybrid vigor, because of Silver Bullet.
Yeah.
But see, that's something that we don't know. I guarantee you that Buff Dogs wouldn't have did a breeding like that because they would have thought to themselves, you know, I would sacrifice this look that's getting me all this money.
Right. They gonna stay true to what's working for them.
Correct. They're gonna stay true to the money.
Cousin.
Yeah. They bred these dogs to a point where they figured out what their consumer wanted. Not what his vision was in the beginning, but what his consumer was paying for.
Yeah.
Like, dog, they want these bully type fucking dogs, like the big ass heads and bully type bulldogs and shit. That's what they want. Yeah, they want that. So we got to keep breeding like this. Yeah, these dogs ain't performing, but they looking the way we want, and we selling them all out. And that's why what we're talking about and how we're in the classroom and what we're trying to produce is like we're on a whole nother level. Like this is a complete dog. This harder. Because when you don't produce that complete dog, then you're a failure. Even though you might sell out a litter because everybody like it. If I had a whole litter of those Red Tiger dogs that I got, I would sell them all out just because they look like Red Tigers.
Yeah.
I would sell them out, period. You would be just like me when I told Buff Dogs to Lady Jackie, I don't care. I just want one of those damn Buff Dogs. They blow up. These dogs blow up, they overheat. I don't care. Facts. That's exactly what I said.
The risk was worth the reward.
Exactly. The risk is worth the reward. I'm just able to say, I got a Buff Dog. That's really what I wanted. I just wanted to say I had a Buff Dog. So I would deal with the consequences if that was to happen. Plus, I've never experienced it before, so I'm naive. I've never had a dog overheat, ever. I don't even know what that is. You told me what it is, but I've never experienced it. So I don't really know what that is. I'm like, oh, I'll deal with that. He won't overheat with me. And exactly what she said happened to Red Tiger and her brother, and his brother. Both the motherfuckers blew up, overheated. Both of them motherfuckers didn't have an off switch, just like she said they didn't.
That's crazy.
But they looked amazing. They looked amazing though.
That's crazy. Breeding those genetics though.
I mean, hey, that's shout out to Brutus, Red Tiger's brother, for dying on me first. And he was, definitely he was dead, man. I mean, he was a super freak, just like Red Tiger, man. I mean, I gotta find some old pictures of his ass so I can show y'all what he looked like. But because of that loss, my first experience with heat stroke and having my dog die in my arms and being devastated and crying like a bitch because it hurt me so bad. Trying to save his life for fucking 3 hours, couldn't. And then he died, stroked out, died. That shit hurt me, man. Cried. I was hurt. And then right then and there, I went and spent that money. I made my appointment with my vet. Hey, man, I need to get his breathing, whatever we gotta do. Got soft palate surgery. Went to called my sperm clinic up. Took Red Tiger over. Got him beef jerkied out. And if it wasn't for Brutus passing away, I wouldn't probably have Brutus or Red Tiger DNA.
Damn.
I don't have Brutus's DNA, but because Brutus died, I had to get. So I was like, I got to get Red Tiger. So I got Red Tiger's DNA, and then that motherfucking Red Tiger died.
Ooh,
so you know what I mean? Like, this is how we learn in the field. This is how you learn in the field, though.
Part of it,
Right.
This is how you know. This is why I can teach and give y'all real life game and say like, yo, what y'all haven't experienced, I didn't experience it before.
See, and you could have just stopped everything right there, but you kept going. Like, yeah.
I'm ready. I knew I was on a DNA shopping spree. I knew that I was trying to create. I wasn't trying to make buff dogs. I just wanted the DNA.
DNA, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let me build off your palate. I know it's going to take me time. You told me flaws that I've never experienced, but I wanted what you worked on 30 years plus.
Time to correct. Correct it.
Yeah.
Give me your fucking foundation, all your shit that you was building on. Let me build off of that, because I don't have that many years in the game like you.
Word.
So you gave me a head start, even though your shit is not perfect.
Right.
Now, knowing and doing is two different things, right? I know something, but I've never done it. Now that I know and I'm doing, now I'm relaying that to y'all. I'm giving y'all both sides of the coin. I only knew one side of the coin.
Mm-hmm.
So now y'all can take this coin and flip it both sides and then take the balance of the two. Like, okay, now okay, now coach told me this and coach told me that, and now I'm doing this and I have an idea about that. Now when I go in the lab, I'm thinking about both sides of the coin. Now when I see the dog, I'm assessing from both sides of the coin. I know I got to get a complete dog, so I got to build it like this and that and make sure it's complete. And if it's not complete, then I'm not fulfilled as a dog man. I failed. I need to make it complete. It's harder. Right. It's going to take longer. It's going to take time. It's going to take experimenting. It's going to take keeping litters. Not one dog, two dog, keeping whole litters. It's going to take that to produce the best. You might produce a variant, but it might not be the best.
Right.
Jackie told me she had only 2 males left. I said, I want them both. I didn't say, what's the best one that you think I should get? No, how many? If she told me she had 3, she told me she had 4 to bought them all. Because I wanted the DNA. I wanted the genetics. That's why I bought all those straws from different dogs. Because I wanted what they built. Give me your formula. Give me your formula. Y'all collect all the straws? I never, fuck. You just taught me something. I don't got no straws. I wish I had some straws off my old dogs. They the ones that taught me about straws when I bought it off of them. That's why I got straws now, because I bought straws off of them.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I tell y'all, make sure if y'all got studs, y'all got dogs that y'all want to keep, you better go collect them. Collect your dog, spend the money. It's only $100 a year. At least that's what my place charges me. $100 a year. It's like $375 for 3 straws. Okay. And then $100 a year each dog. And guess what? All my DNA, at least from the studs, I got. So, for example, my brother William, Blue Line Terriers.
Yeah.
He got my boy Jaws, man. I love Jaws, but I already got his offspring and I got his semen. So in reality, I still got Jaws. Now Bill can use Jaws and build with him too.
Right.
Good
I
move.
told Bill make sure he go and get that boy's semen on ice too, so that if something happens to Jaws, you still got Jaws just like I still got Jaws.
Facts. Yeah.
That's a game I learned from somebody who's experiencing the game, who has a program, who did what they did and now retired. And if they ever want to come back into the game, they can, they can cook up their old dogs if they wanted to. You know what I mean? I'm sure they won't. They're retired. Right. You know what I mean? They're older, so I'm sure they're done with it. But if the old man want to get back in the lab and say, or if his kids like, Dad, I want to start breeding the dogs that we had. Well, son, I got fucking, 20 straws, 50 or 20 dogs and 50 straws each dog. You can run, he can carry on the legacy. His kids can, his grandkids can.
Right.
And that's how I see my program at the end of the day.
That's
if I want to retire, or if I want to sell it, it's how I build it to a brand, it's a high-level brand. I'm like, I'm ready to retire. I can sell the dogs and all the straws.
Mm-hmm. All right.
And give it to the next man who want to carry on the torch. Like, yo, coach, I love what you did with them dogs, man. Yeah, here's the formula, man. Here you go. Boom. I'm retired. I'll sell you the whole franchise. It's all yours. The whole blueprint. You can have it.
The whole blueprint.
So
official. That's official.
That's the ticket.
I mean, that's the wave, man. I mean, shit. That's what I say. We in the classroom with this shit, y'all. Like this right here, what we talking about is applicable. You can apply this. You can apply what we talking about and get results that make sense. Like real results that make sense. You can build real top tier level type programs, following what we talk about, understanding what's real in this dog game and what's not, the smoke and mirrors, the hype, all the shit, understanding that, dogs are more than meets the eye, even though we base our dogs off of what we see. But as far as like production wise, it's more than meets the eye, always taking our dog programs to the next level. If we're not producing better than, the same is like, it's not doing justice. Like for me to produce the same as AK, it's not doing me any justice. It's not doing AK any justice either.
Word.
Because it's like, damn, Dad, I'm me. Why you need to produce me?
Yeah.
I'm already me.
Already here.
Yeah. I'm already me. So why are you producing me then, Dad? Like you're not, what? Like, of course not. Like, nah, like I need to make sure that your kids supersede you and their kids supersede them. That's my obligation. I'm like I said, I would love to be able to have an AK son or AK granddaughter or grandson or whatever, AK daughter that supersedes him. That's what I want.
Mm-hmm.
I want y'all to remember AK, but then, man, that boy Black Hawk though, coach. That boy Black Hawk though.
Right.
That one though. That boy, like that's what I want from my peers, but y'all are, right? I want y'all to be like, yo, coach, man, like, bro, you did that. Oh, wow, shit.
It's really the AK production you want.
Say that again, Corey.
AK's production.
Yes. And then their productions.
And their production and so on.
Yeah. And so on. Exactly. So that even though AK is the bloodline, and let's say, for example, I want to create value in that AK bloodline, right? So if I keep it alive, those variances of AK, then because of AK being a Hall of Famer, I can continue carrying on that blood of AK and charge you fucking a huge amount of money for it.
Right.
Because that is an AK 20 years down the road.
Established.
30 years down the road. Yeah. We know that he produces himself. He's in the first 3 generations. You know you're getting an AK dog because he's in them dogs.
Mm-hmm.
We're not like, oh, like we talk about, oh, that's a throwback from AK from 10 years ago. Stop playing. Stop capping. AK's dead. AK ain't been in that pedigree from 10 years. That's not an AK dog. But because I got 50 straws off his ass, which that's my goal, I can keep producing AK dogs for as long as I'm alive. Because all I got to do is introduce him every 3 generations. That's all I got to do.
Mm-hmm.
Reintroduce him into his grandkids 3 generations. And that's an AK dog. That's an AK dog. That's an AK dog. So that's how we would do that. Us dogmen who's understanding this, if you have that dog, you want to create a real line off of him. That dog needs to be in at least the first 3 generations for it to be that dog's bloodline. Top and bottom, preferably. So, for example, if I take AK to his great-great-granddaughter, that's an AK dog. And then I breed those dogs to other dogs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then those other dogs, grandchildren or, whatever, great-grandchildren, I take AK to those dogs. That's an AK dog.
Right.
And I let them breed however I breed them, outcross, whatever. And then I run AK into those. That's an AK dog.
Mm-hmm.
Because, see, I'm still keeping my vigor.
Day and then. Yeah.
See? I'm still got my line breeding intact. And then I run AK back up into his shit. And because I know that AK's semen is super semen, he's always going to influence that blood. He's always going to influence that breeding, regardless of what outcrosses is in there.
That's great.
That's how it's done. But you know how much time that takes?
A lot.
Out of time.
A lot of time, man. You're not skipping no steps, man.
That one.
Nope.
Skipping that one at all.
And we're not destroying the blood by inbreeding it too much. We still getting hybrid vigor by doing it that way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But you can't skip not a step.
Ain't no skipping. It's just it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way at all. You know what I mean? So if you think about how breeds look the way they look and they're established, from the forefathers of the breed types when they made them, it was a group of individuals who had the recipes of those dogs, right? The formula of those breed types that created the breed. And they had families of the formula, though. Think about the 4 breed mixes that would make a breed, whatever that might be, 5 breed, whatever many breeds that made that breed.
Mm-hmm.
They would have a group of breeders that had that formula, but different family of dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Understand the mathematics of that. The formula for the breed type, but different family of dogs. And then they would make it, and then they would breed those dogs together when they made them. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then that's how you would get the genetic variance without having the overbred, inbred type shit that's falling apart.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you can have different variances of Doberman Pinschers and different variances of Greyhounds and Malinois, all the different breed type pit bulls. Because the formula is the same, but different family of dogs. Not, okay, I got one family of dogs, I keep inbreeding and inbreeding them and inbreeding and inbreeding and inbreeding. That's not how they do it. Because when you experiment like that, they found out that your dogs deteriorate.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, well, fuck, well, I got to go back to, remember how I told you about the Secretary horse?
Yes.
I got to go back on what was the foundation that produced this breed. But I done fucked it up by inbreeding it so much. So they go back to it. It's a whole different family of dogs, but it's still different. You know, it's still the breed type formula. Still, whatever 5 breeds, 6 breeds, 4 breeds, 3 breeds, however many breeds of dogs you use to create that breed type, it's still the formula. So you start from scratch. But if you hip to the game like what we're talking about, and you like, okay, I know how to make the dog, but let me get some of my partners, you know, to make the dog too, but use different family of dogs, and we just keep this shit going. You know what I'm saying? We'll intertwine our family of dogs, but with the same formula. We'll keep that breed type going. That's how it works. Well, like I said, you know how much time that takes? A lot of time. A lot.
Yeah. Nah, it's real, man. Just gotta be dedicated to the craft.
Gotta be dedicated to the craft, man. And you gotta use your common sense. You gotta use common sense. You know, you gotta make mistakes to respect the mistake, to respect the process. You gotta make it to respect it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta take L's, right? You gotta lose dogs, right? You gotta have high price selling dogs that die on you.
Word.
That your consumer who bought it because they wanted it bad enough, then they're like, hey, coach, man, I know I wanted that dog and you told me about it, but man, hey, can you put a better motor in it next time?
Damn.
Coach, can you make it breathe better next time? Coach, can you tighten up its, you know, the structure next time? Because, you know, I was dealing with hip dysplasia and like these are the things that for me, I understand, but if I'm making money, I'm like, well, damn it, bro. Like I could, but then I'm not gonna get the money that made you give me. You know what I mean? Like I can't get the dog that made you break your bread, even though you knew that these dogs was possibly not what could be. Like do I want the money or do I want to start over? 9 times out of 10, you know, the breeder goes like, man, I need that money now. I'm sorry, man, I can't do it because I'm not gonna get that money. Y'all paying me for these dogs that ain't all the way complete. Y'all telling me, okay, man, I really want the dog, even though, you know, and most breeder ain't gonna tell you like what I just told y'all, how, you know, Jackie told me. She told me that because she's not in the game. I'm sure she wouldn't have told me that if she was still making money off them dogs.
Facts.
She would have told me none of that. Like, how much, what you want? Okay, cool. You know what I mean? $3,000. Thank you. Oh, yeah, them dogs is this. Yeah, them dogs are that. Yep. Then I get the dog, that dog's dead.
Dead.
Uh-huh.
She told me all this shit too, man. She told me that her dogs don't got strong jaws.
Damn.
That a lot of those, a lot of dog men were buying their dogs because shit, man. I'm sure they made some good money, man, back in the day because they're very popular for their dogs. But anyway, she said a lot of people was buying their dogs and they were over there doing bite work with them at too young of an age, and they were dislocating their dog's jaws and shit. She told me all that shit. Because, you know, they want the dog to hang and pull. Yeah. The dogs are still developing and shit like that. And they dislocating the dog's jaws and shit. She told me all that shit.
Stop, man.
She told me one of her dogs that she sold killed the mailman. Killed the mailman, one of her clients, and he got sued and went to jail.
Damn.
Killed a mailman. Like, she told me all the shit, man. I'm like, damn it.
Liabilities.
Yeah, liabilities, like we talked about. So
much.
This is stuff that now I comprehend. You feel me? I comprehend it now because I deal with these type of dogs. I deal with certain personalities. I've done pack, you know, like I've done enough pack experiments. You know what I'm saying? Like I done seen like me having Cowboy, for example, and him being a bully, but him not liking no strangers, and me seeing a dog that like him that could be a liability. He's calmed down as he's gotten older, but I've learned what these dogs are. Not You know, I heard about it, right? You hear about it, but until you experience a liability, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I had a pit bull bitch. My foundation, one of my foundation females, pit bull bitch. Her name is Buffy the Body, the silent assassin. She was a liability. She was breaking through fences, chewing. She was wanting to kill everything, not humans, but kids. Kids, she wanted to kill because they see her eye to eye, so she think they're like prey.
The same size. Yeah.
Yeah, they're the same size, so she think kids is prey. She want to kill kids and all animals.
Yeah.
That was
All
a
strong.
liability.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Liability. I had to learn that by experience, by seeing her attack neighbors' dogs, and luckily I was able to break them off, almost kill seeing her kill things and stuff. Like I had to learn, like, oh shit, that's a liability. Now I know what these things look like now. Now I can prevent things from happening because I've seen it. Oh, I see your temperament. Oh, I gotta curb that. Or I gotta keep this away from you, that away from you. Like you gotta curb that. And then when you're breeding, you gotta breed certain type of dogs to correct that.
Right.
I have to correct that. I don't want liabilities. I don't want you as a consumer who's not hip to the game of these dogs, hip to the psyche of these dogs, don't know how to handle these dogs when they get out of hand, to buy one of my dogs and then it's all bad. It's all bad for you because you ain't me. Now you're like, damn it, coach. This dog done attacked my son, or this dog done killed my fucking, Shih Tzu.
Or that.
Yeah, or whatever, bit my neighbor or whatever. Like, I can't have that. When I sell you a dog of this caliber, I can't have that. I need to make sure that when you get this dog in his mind is a pet first before it's a killer.
Right.
Because if you antagonize the dog, like when I was a rookie in the dogs, y'all, when I was out there, had my pit bull back in that 97, 98, when we were talking about my first red nose, real paper dog. And when I had it as a puppy, I was over there pushing it in the ground, making it mean, like making it, frustrating it, making it mean. As a puppy, I shouldn't have did that. But because that was, cool, look at, you come around my dog, you touch, because it's thinking that you're going to push his face in the ground.
Yeah.
So you come around, it's growling at you, snapping at you and shit. I'm like, yeah. But get him. But, I'm creating a damn liability. Prime example, now I understand why my dad made me get rid of him, because he over there running at the neighbors, having them jumping on their car and shit.
Yeah.
I did that to that dog. Versus me just loving on it, me just socializing it, me letting it feel comfortable with its reality to that. You know what? If it's not a threat, I ain't got to act like you a threat.
Mm-hmm.
That's a kid. Even though I think that kid is this, okay, well, I've been around enough kids to know that kid, I didn't know that. Well, let's say Buffy, for example, right? Because, my son was what I think when I got Buffy, my son was what, probably like 12. So he wasn't seeing her eye to eye. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But little kids, toddlers, 5-year-olds, man, she thought they was prey.
Hey.
Thought they was prey.
Yep.
I'm like, oh shit, that's not a good look right there. That's not a good look right there at all. So because I never socialized her with little kids, right? Then of course, that's what she thought, you know what I mean? But I'm sure if I would have socialized her early bird, because I knew that's the tendencies that's in her, she would have understood that over time, that's a child.
Right.
She loved humans, but just kids, she didn't comprehend that because she's never been around kids, never had her around kids. So that's stuff that we have to, instill in our dogs to get them on that level. That's stuff that we got to see. But the only way we see that is through experience. Only way we help correct that is that you tell people who buy your dogs that have the capacity to kill, to maul, to control you, to take this dog and love on it, socialize it for the first year. You got plenty of time to turn it into a killer. Matter of fact, it'll turn into a killer on its own.
Oh, yeah.
But socialize this killer right now so that that dog comprehends, you know, the non-liability clause that we got to put in it so that we don't get sued or arrested. So, you know, but I mean, if you guys, I mean, anything else y'all can elaborate on this topic here? You know, we put in about, you know, almost 3 hours on the playbook tonight on this pre-Thanksgiving.
No, this
Yeah.
joint lit. This joint was lit. This is one of my favorite topics.
Yeah,
This
I
is-
like this one.
I mean, shit. Hey, this one was on my mind for a little bit, and you know, I wanted us to cook on it because you know I definitely appreciate everything that y'all bring the feedback. But you know, the coach always going to have the classroom broken down all the way down to his third degree. You know
Hey,
what I mean?
hey, you ever heard of Homer Bloodlines? Pitbull Bloodline?
yeah.
Homer.
Homer. Yeah, I had that back in the day in the 90s. And
Yeah.
Devil Demon Bloodline? Yeah, Demon Bloodline.
I never heard of that shit, Demon, but I heard of Homer though.
Yeah, I heard that Homer shit.
Them joints was crazy. Like all them bloodlines from back in the day was like crazy. And I used to see them joints like as stray dogs in the street, man. chilling. They still be like fighting other dogs and shit in the street, but for the most part, they still be chilling. They out there. And they be like purebred. They took all them joints.
And that boy showing up said he got Homer blood now.
Oh, that's what's up, man. I ain't seen them joints in a minute. I gotta check out your
So, hey, show enough. What's your IG? Show enough.
yeah. What's your IG?
Put your IG up in the chat. Show enough. If you got IG, you know what I'm saying. We can give you a follow. You know what I'm saying. We'll add you to the group. Add you to the dog group.
Factuals.
Hey, so was it you, young lady, that put that video in there on YouTube? What was it called? Rough House?
Oh,
Was
with
it?
the county Corso guy?
Yeah, was that you?
Yep.
That put it in there?
Yep.
And how he said how he said he done with the Candy Corso. He said them dogs is trash and shit. He said he gonna make a band dog now.
Yep. He said he wanna incorporate the pit bull to his Connie Corso line, working line.
Yeah, that was you know, that was confirmation. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. That's why I say what we got going on and what we're doing right now. You know,
He
it's the
said
road less traveled.
he was
For
talking about how the Connie Corso breed is oversaturated, just like the bullies.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's over 1,000,001 breeders, like, and he can't make $1. So it's like,
It makes sense. You know, and that's what I said. As a business, you gotta see it from a different lens.
It's crazy. If you're doing that joint for mad years, then it's just like you just stop. Like, let me make these dogs now.
I mean, if you haven't already like placed your flag in the dirt when it comes to a certain type of dog, and then you have your craft perfected to always produce them type of dogs, then
Yeah.
it's going to be hard for you to sustain that level of potency when it comes to who you are in that arena of dogs. And being that, like, you know, like you was mentioning, like he's been in the game for a while and he's seeing the prestige of that dog of the Connie Corso not being what he originally was into it for to be, then it's like, okay, I got to change clothes. You know what I mean? I got to go ahead and shift my whole play and do what I got to do and make me a band dog, which of course is not going to give him as much recognition as he probably was getting with the Connie Corso because the Connie Corso was already established. but it will give him a place to where if he does produce them type of dogs, then he would have a platform that they can only get his type of Connie
Yeah.
Corso dog
Yeah.
from him.
Right.
You know, and that's how I saw it. You know, me coming into the game of doing dogs as a business is like I always had a vision. Like I told y'all, I had a vision of making dogs when I was 8. But coming into the dog game, and because I'm a businessman first, it's like, how am I going to set myself apart from everyone else? I don't want to do what everybody else did or does, because then you can shop me with the next man. That's not good business for me.
Exactly.
When you can say, Coach, you know, you're asking too much. I'm gonna go over here down the way. Homeboy offering them shits for half of what you offer. He got the same shit you got. No, he don't.
Or they're going to try to tell you what you don't have.
Oh, they stay doing that, young ready. They stay doing that. I mean, that's a given. Oh, you ain't got this, you ain't got that. That's a given. But I mean, shit, you ain't got what I got. So how you tell me
Right.
what I got?
Exactly.
When you don't. But see, those are the ones that we call the naysayers and stuff. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna try to take you off of your post, off of what you established, because they're gonna try to downplay you and what you're doing with your dogs and what you have, because nobody else have it. So then if nobody else have it, then what you have is shit. Because, you know, ain't nobody else got it, your shit. So why you think your shit is all that? Well, that's their whole play when they talked about that. You know what I mean? But we smarter than that.
Facts.
You know, we way smarter than that. And that's not what we are as pioneer dogmen. You know what I mean? We're going to do what we came here to do. We're going to understand it's going to take some time. It's going to take a lot of effort. It's a lot of work, a lot of money. It's not cheap. But when you finally get to that level where you produce that and people see it, like, oh shit. And especially when people actually get it and use it, like, oh shit, this man, bruh. I see why Coach called this shit Formula One.
Facts.
I see why he say his dogs got maximum prey drive. Or I see why his dogs have maximum man, or what he says his dog got maximum man drive. You know what I'm saying? I see when he says his dog has, you know, pain tolerance that's like to the max, like he can take maximum pain. Like dog don't feel no pain. Like I can see it. Now it's like, okay, I need that $10,000, nigga. Oh, coach, man. Oh, coach. Well, go find it somewhere else. And you find it somewhere else, get it. Guess what? They're gonna come back, man. Coach, man, shit. I guess I need to give you that 10 bands, man. Well, I can't find it nowhere else.
Facts.
So, in closing, good cook up. I just want you guys to not be naive to the things that you hear out here from a lot of these dog men and dog women of today when they talk about dogs of the past. Okay. If you're not thinking now or the future, then you're not really a good dog man or dog woman as far as breeding is concerned. You're just a dog enthusiast. Okay. And if you buying dogs strictly off of pedigree, do not do that. Learn from my mistakes. If the breeder can show you the dogs in the first 3 generations, take that, like that, love that. That's it. That's all you should be concerned about. If the breeder is honest, trustworthy, and the dogs he can tell you about or can show you, then you're more like confident. You'll be more confident in making that purchase and understanding that that DNA you can possibly reproduce. Other than that, it's a pet. It's a you know, you're rolling the dice. You might get something that works, you might not. And that's that. It is what it is. Don't overplay it. Don't overthink it. Don't think that you can reinvent the wheel. It don't work that way. Okay. Don't get bamboozled. Stick to the dogs that's in front of you. Only pay attention to the first 3 generations: mom, dad, grandfather, grandmother, great grandfather, great grandmother, and that's your foundation for what you need to do for your program. And then Keep all the puppies. Reproduce with everyone. I don't care if the dog's a cur. I don't care if the dog is a runt. I don't care if the dog's the biggest one. I don't care if the dog got, breed every single one. If the genetics are top tier in each one of those dogs, regardless of what they look like, regardless of how they act. Because that cur dog might produce the most fucking vicious dog you ever own. Because the spirit in the dog is not the DNA. Understand that. Understand this. That essence that's in that dog, that's in the life that's in the dog is not the DNA. The life of the dog comes from God.
Right.
Period. Just like us. What you see on the outside of us is not us. It's what's us is our spirit, not the body. The body comes from our moms and dads and the ancestors that created the DNA, the shell, right? But the spirit comes from God. So same thing with your dogs. You might have a dog that's kind of timid and shit in the spirit, but you would have got rid of that dog. You bred that dog, and it produces it produces wild dogs. Like that's how crazy this breeding shit is.
Yeah.
That's the reality of it. Like you wouldn't think that, but the only way you know that is you in the lab. Like I'm cooking up all my shit. Then you see it. Like damn, bitch, I would have gave you away. But look what you gave me. Look at your son and your daughter. They're phenomenal. That's how real this shit is. So again, appreciate y'all. Thank you, my panel. Shout out to all you brothers on here, Corey. You know what I mean? Young and Ready, Duro. All y'all in the chat. Let me make sure I scroll down the chat. You know what I'm saying? We put it as long as we did. I think this is the longest one we did.
Coach. Yeah.
No, actually, I think
we did a
one
longer one than this.
Yeah.
We did longer than 3 hours.
Yeah, we did one longer than 3 hours.
Like 3 hours and 48 minutes or something.
Yep.
Damn it, man. Shit, I love y'all, man. Y'all keep me in check, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all keep me in check, man. I appreciate y'all, man, for them checks and balances. You know what I mean? Hey, to be real with y'all, man. The coach got so much going on, man. So I definitely appreciate y'all keeping me on the checks and balances, man, for sure.
No doubt.
Let me give everybody a shout out, man. Functional Focus Kennels, man. Big shout out. Man, salute to your puppies, man. Beautiful puppies. By the way, hopefully you're able to sell them all. Blue Line Terriers, Bill, man. Big salute to your family. Thank you for showing up. Big salute, fam. Thank you for showing up and being consistent and always, giving your boy a shout out. Who else we got over here? The Stevie Clark Project, Big Steve. Big salute to you, family. Little Miss STFU. Big salute. I think I've seen her before, right? I think we've seen her before.
It was in last week.
Yes. So salute to you. Thank you for coming back. Jonas Varela. I think that's what it is. I don't know if this is the first time, maybe not. Have y'all seen Jonas before?
Nah.
Okay, so shout out to you, Jonas. If it's your first time, welcome. Hopefully we will see you again. We're here normally every Thursday night at 6:15 p.m. Pacific time. You know what I mean? So, we should be back on track next Thursday. So hopefully you'll show up again. But salute to you, man. T, man, big salute, man. Welcome back, brother. We missed you. I know you probably caught the reruns, the replays, but definitely, man, welcome back to the chat. Carolina Blue, man, I want to give you a salute. Earlier on, I mentioned that Joe from NWA Carne Corso hit me up today, and we have an interview scheduled for, I think, the 11th. So I will keep everybody posted. But sure enough, mentioned that you mentioned me to the brother, and so I appreciate your support, man. You know what I mean? I got a lot of love and respect for you, man. Because not only did you shout me out and slid me into the thought process of Joe, you also gave me the heads up on Chico Lopez's hating ass on my boy AK-47 Chopper. So basically, I mean, I appreciate that. Neil Mack, I will remember you this time, brother. So thank you for showing up again and participating. Soul Power, man. Hey, Soul Power, man. Soul Power, we were supposed to do an interview. I mean, you had me on the interview, man. But hey, anytime you ready, I got you. That interview's there for you, brother. Always. But thank you for showing up, show enough. Who else we got? Live Your Life Dogs. Oh, yes. Salute to your family. Hey, hit that rewind button. Live Your Life Dogs, man. We had a great cook up, man. This is great information like we always do. Classroom is always excellent.
As we take a deep breath.
You take a deep breath. You got to take a deep breath, man. I mean, you're dealing with life. You got to take a deep breath sometimes. Matter of fact, all the time, like I do every day.
Yes, sir.
So, hey, y'all be safe this holiday. I love y'all. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, happy holidays.
Love you too,
For happy
Coach.
holidays, y'all.
Y'all stay
Happy
safe out
Stay
there.
safe. Word.
No
Do
doubt.
not
Yes, sir.
get in any trouble. Do not drive drunk because on the holidays, them checkpoints are out.
Yes, they are.
So use your brains, man. Be aware and just enjoy your holiday, enjoy your family, and be safe. And we'll come back regular scheduled program Thursday nights.
Nothing but love and respect, y'all.
So everybody, man, be safe out there. Love y'all, and we are out.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Peace.